Yo, oh damn! I forgot to turn off that stupid music. Welcome to another Geek Cyber podcast. I am the host, the one, the only, notorious, the infamous, the criminal, the illegal, Jesse Goku, also known as King Mexico, also known as Mr. Uppies. Now, that's right. I have changed brands. I'm now Mr. Uppies, and I'm here by myself. Okay, if you want to share it with me on Discord, let's see. Yo, what's up, Geek Cred Trivia? So what is going on, everybody? It's been 2 weeks. It's been a rough 2 weeks, but we're back. We're here to run the show. We're here to talk about another WeebCon. Uh, so yeah, WeebCon was this past weekend, Easter weekend. Also, this past weekend was WrestleMania. I almost said anime, Tyler, Texas. I'm a little sick, but never fear. What I have is not contagious. I'm trying to see what our score was for. Trying to see if so all right, so 2024, here it is. So last year we talked about WeebCon. We talked about what happened, the incident, the sexual assault incidents. Before I do all that, joining me is the Wednesday night co-host. He's here because Sonic's running late, so I didn't want to sit here and just talk to myself till Sonic got here. And John Cena just showed up on Monday Night Raw. Joining me is Diamond Assassin.
How are you?
Tired.
I feel you.
Tired of John Cena's bullshit.
Oh, dude, I was laughing my ass off. I was like, yes, I knew that was going to happen too.
Right. Yeah, it's...
People are fucking pissed. Like, genuinely pissed. I'm like, dude, he literally said on his promo that he was going to ruin wrestling for everybody. Like, what did you not understand?
No. There's a difference between, like, the storyline, oh, I'm going to ruin wrestling, yada, 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 and then there was last night, and
Ugh.
I don't care what anybody says. I don't care. It's not ring psychology.
Yeah.
It's not. It's lazy writing with lazy booking.
And then I feel like part of it felt a little bit rushed, a little bit to me, like a few matches here and there from night 1 and 2. But mainly, I think the biggest issue that a lot of people had was the only way it would make sense for Travis Scott to even be there in the first place if Rock was there too, and that's the biggest thing that everybody's talking about at the moment. I 100% agree. I think Travis Scott and Rock the Rock should have been there with Travis Scott for it to make sense storyline wise.
Yep, The Rock didn't show the show. He didn't show up at the show. Kind of like a toxic father going to the 7-Eleven for a pack of cigarettes and then never coming home. Let's real quick. Let me go over some. We don't have a skinny because Sonic's not here, but I guess I can go over a little bit. The Nintendo Switch 2 will come out in June. For those of you that don't know. Yes, my room is a mess because I'm rearranging shit in here again. Also, this weekend is Anime Tyler, Texas. We'll talk a little bit about that later tonight. Anime Tyler, Texas is this Saturday and Sunday. If you're not going to be there, then you know what? That's fucked up.
That's real fucked up.
That's real fucked up. Also, we did submit panels for Comic Palooza. We'll see how that goes. There's a panel that Zero Zeros does that we kind of stole from them, and we submitted it, and I know they submitted it, so we'll see how that goes.
Heck yeah.
It might create some controversy. Me and Josh might have to throw hands, but I'm ready to throw hands.
Ruffle some feathers.
I will ruffle all the fucking feathers,
dude. I already have my tickets. It's a done deal.
I'm not gonna go if I don't have panels. If I don't, I missed the deadline for the podcast show.
Yeah,
I fucked up. I usually don't sign up this late. I usually don't wait this late, but I did. I signed up on the deadline, and we'll just have to see how it goes.
Fair enough.
Also, don't forget that Delta HCon is in July. We will be there, and we will be throwing our party. Also celebrating their birthday that weekend at Delta HCon is Chad, the saxophone guy, the saxophone guy.
Hey.
He wants to throw a party, so he's gonna take everyone to the club and buy everyone drinks, and Chad's got us. Chad gonna take care of all of us. He said he got us. Chad gonna make sure everybody eat.
Richie Rich over here.
Now he's over here staring at the screen like, what the fuck? He's like, Chad gonna make sure Chad eat. All right, but other than that, I really don't have a skinny. Just WrestleMania was this past weekend, Easter, WeebCon. Also, it was the final weekend of Sherwood, which we will do a comparison to the Texas Renaissance Festival and Sherwood. And for those of you in the Dallas area, the Scarborough Renaissance Festival has also started. It started a few weeks ago. And I think there's one in Oklahoma as well. So if you haven't gotten your fix on Renaissance festivals, make sure you check out one of them. Let's check out some comments, though. Ulysses Farknocker says, oh, neat, a loading screen. Yeah, because I wasn't ready. Yeah, because we actually had a guest, but they're actually in the comments.
Oh, no.
About if you could my signal.
I was like, no, he died.
I think my splitter for the internet that's in my room is starting to go bad. I've had it since I want to say like 3 years now. I don't know, I don't abuse the shit out of it, but
yeah,
but it's whatever. All right, so yeah, Hunty, hi, it's autumn. Maybe it's best for me to type out my experience. Ha ha ha. Okay, yeah. I mean, if you want to message me on Discord, your take, like what you liked about the con, what you hated, what you thought. Do you want to vent? Do you want to scream? Do you want to cry? Let me know. Chad Saxophone guy says we here. He getting drinks for everybody. You're like, yep. Don't make it poor. John Cena's on my screen talking shit again. I don't know what. Probably something stupid. Well, I didn't go this year. I had a terrible experience last year at WeebCon. So the reason why we're not talking about last year's WeebCon is because we disqualified them, and last year's WeebCon, like a lot of bad shit happened.
Yeah, they did.
Including that's how we got introduced to the whole whole wheat Pete thing. Canned bread boy.
God, I'm glad he's at least gone for a while. Maybe.
Oh,
I think it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it was flipped. Because I was staring at myself. I'm like, what the fuck am I looking at? That
you're like, why is it off?
Yeah, no, for real. I never plan on going back. That's probably for the best. But yeah, it was terrible. At least it was free on Peacock. Oh, WrestleMania.
Yeah, WrestleMania.
All I can say, oh no, bullshit, it wasn't free. You have to pay. That bitch is like $7.99 now. Like $8 fucking for Peacock, and that's with the commercials. Birthday con, shit, I don't know about that one, Chief. WeebCon definitely doesn't seem worth it. Sounds like more of a headache than anything else. I'd be pissed if I wasted a weekend on that. Yeah, it's one of those, what the fuck? Why am I here? This is bullshit. We didn't attend the convention. For one, I forgot all about it. I'm gonna be honest. We wanted to go. We wanted to do stuff with them. We wanted to help. I did talk to one of the staff members, but Like they wanted they wanted us to help out, and I completely forgot. It like slipped my fucking mind. I've just been going through a lot this year.
I could have sworn it was something. I remember when I joined. Y'all had like I know you had beef, like prior beef to with certain cons and stuff, with certain staff and whatnot.
So I don't have beef with the staff themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I just I had beef with the way it was handled.
Right.
Let me see. I'm sharing the show on the. I've been spamming the shit out of the podcast on their Discord.
I don't blame you.
Let's see, and then I'm gonna go ahead and spam it one more time. All right, I'm still listening to John Cena talking stupid shit. I think we did. I don't remember. It's been a while. Hey, by the way, everyone that's here, make sure you smash that like button. The Epic Gamer, would you like to come on? If anybody in the comment section that went to the convention or know anything or have any tea or anything would like to come on the show, let me know in the comment section. Just comment me, or I would like to join, and I will. If you have me on Instagram, I'll private message you the invite link. I don't want to put it on the. The last time we covered a convention was Anime Matsuri, and we posted the invite link.
Yeah.
Some guy came on here as Jace, pretended to be Jace, came on the show, and then showed his wiener on camera.
What the hell?
Yeah, it pissed me the fuck off. That shit pissed me off because we were talking about Anime Matsuri, and we were talking about all the bullshit that was going on that weekend. And then one person just came on the show and like to throw us off.
Mm-hmm.
But you couldn't see it on the live stream because there's the delay, and I think they kind of censored that out. I don't know. Because I went back to watch it on the live stream to edit it out.
Yeah.
But I couldn't find it. So I just deleted the whole episode. So that episode is gone forever.
Damn.
But yes, the Epic Gamer, if you would like to come on the show and join us, please share your thoughts. We're not here to badmouth the convention. So I didn't go. I don't have an opinion on the show.
Same with me.
You can actually join on the phone. So if I send you, so the way it works is if I send you the link on Messenger through Instagram or Facebook or Messenger at all, you don't just click on it. You have to copy and paste it. Or if you do click on it, open through a web browser. And then you have to join like that. It is possible to join on your phone. You don't have to join.
I will say the phone you will have, like, depending on your internet, you will have a little bit of issues here and there.
Or if you don't have a headset.
Yeah.
You gotta have like at least some AirPods or something like that. Because we had people join on the phone all the time. It's up to you though. No pressure. If you just want to share your thoughts, do you have me on Instagram? Do you have me on Discord? Let me know. You can share. You can message me. Yeah. If you don't have me on Instagram, guys, and you want to message me, because the Discord is much too a pain in the ass. I did get some messages right now. Okay, so this is from one person. And before we continue, let's go ahead and get the WrestleMania recap out of the way. This isn't going to take very long because we are a geek channel. We cover multiple things, and so I just want to get this shit out of the way. WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2. WrestleMania Night 1 got a 6 out of 10. Actually, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. No, it was a 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
And WrestleMania Night 2 was a 8 out of 10. The only things that kind of felt flat were the Women's Tag Team Championship match, even though Becky Lynch coming back was amazing. I thought that was awesome.
Yep. And I think the bigger one was the main event, which was John Cena and Cody Rhodes.
That was shit. It was a slow-paced match. It was boring. It was all over the place. John Cena's an asshole. He can't fucking wrestle. I don't care what Deacon says.
Deacon over here trying to fight you in the Discord. I saw that.
No, because it's like, fuck, you know what? No, John Cena sucks. And then I'm not a Rhea Ripley fan. I'm not. She's like, yeah, she's hot, but I'm not a fan of hers. I'm so fucking glad she lost.
I'm glad that EO actually retained.
Yeah, I'm an EO. I'm a Bianca Belair fan, and I'm an EO Sky fan, and I'm so glad EO Sky won.
I was actually vouching for Belair to, like, not only win the championship but also turn heel. I was looking for that.
Do you believe that Rhea Ripley should have been pinned so Bianca Belair could keep her undefeated, never been pinned at WrestleMania streak.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Io Sky is the first Japanese superstar to win at WrestleMania since I forgot who was the last person.
Asuka
Yeah, they probably did. They
or
probably did.
Shinsuke, one or the other.
Yeah, they kicked me out of the Discord. Oh, they kicked me out of their Discord.
Who?
WEEBCON.
Oh.
Yeah,
That's
no,
weird.
they just kicked me out. They are not happy with me.
Oh damn.
Here, join our Discord. Here you can talk about anyone. Escalator entrance lines are way too long. Enemy Frontier would never. Can't find the game room. We already thought it was too hidden. Already found it. Would you also like to come on and like? If anybody that went to the con, I'm officially kicked out of the WeebCon Discord. I just posted the. Let me send it again. Can you message me on Discord? But I just posted our Discord link so you can see it right here. It should be popping up on the. Yeah, it's popping up on the. You can message me on. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I have officially been kicked out of the WeebCon Discord. Unfortunately, it is what it is. They did not want me spamming the what is it?
The podcast link.
Yeah, if it's fucking bullshit.
Oh, so that's what you were doing, was spamming the
No, I didn't spam it. Like I made 2 posts about the podcast. Like, hey, would anybody like to join to talk about the con? And then I posted a link to the YouTube channel. And I guess
I
it
was gonna
might have
say, I think
violated their
someone-
rules. It
Yeah.
might have. I did this shit last year, and it didn't. There wasn't a problem. I think this year there's just a lot of hate. Last year there was a lot of hate, but this year there seems to be a lot more. Last year it was the sexual assault
Right.
incident that happened in the hotel room, and how it wasn't the. So that itself happened in a private hotel room during a private hotel room party. So the con itself can't regulate that, but the way it was handled by the convention was actually, poorly received.
Yeah.
And Holy Pete tackling people into the bushes, or tackling people like he's fucking ice or some bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Being mistreated by the staff of the hotel itself. I think it was lack of water stations. I don't remember. It was a lot going on last year, and this year just seems to be a lot worse. I don't know how. Like I said, I haven't really read everybody's comments just yet. So I didn't really spam. I posted the link once, and then I made 2 posts. So 3 posts altogether. 2, hey, we're looking for people to join us later today. The second one was, hey, look, we're looking for a last minute guest. We don't have anybody, to come on the show and, to talk about this. So, okay, you sent me a message. How did you send it to me? Did you post
You
it?
said through Discord, in Discord.
Okay, let me message you. I just privately messaged you the link. Epic Gamer. So I'm gonna start reading So I know Autumn Coffee sent me some stuff. I'm gonna start reading that pretty soon. Apparently that was the case again this year. Yeah, so I didn't spam them. I mean, that's a load of shit. That I was just being dramatic, but yeah, they kicked me out, and I think there are rumors, and I don't know if we can confirm this or not. They are deleting comments and kicking people out of the Discord. They're calling them GreedCon instead of WeebCon. Like it's in our Discord, Diamond. Hello, welcome, welcome, the Epic Gamer.
Welcome.
How we going?
How you doing? How you doing? I
Can
am
you hear me
tired,
good?
and I'm
I'm
sick
using
of.
my AirPods.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
good. We actually can hear you pretty well. Can you hear us?
Bet. Yes, I hear y'all perfectly.
All right, so you were at the convention,
Yeah, I was at WeebCon on 3 days.
and you didn't have any. So you actually had a great time. Can you tell us about your experience at the convention?
It was pretty good. I feel like it was uh a slight downgrade from the previous year. In terms of like the convention itself, like the
Mhm.
um from being at the Gaylord, I thought that was, better, in my opinion.
All right.
But
Well, I mean, like, what were you just a regular attendee? Were you a panelist? Were you?
no, I was just a regular attendee. They did address things that they did last year, like the water stations. They did not have water stations at all last year, and they did this year, which was everywhere. And it was accessible and cold, and it was great. It was great to have water, especially when you're in Texas
Hmm.
and it's hot.
Right. So let me see real quick. Let me address some comments. Let me continue. Saying GreedCon. Oh yeah, look. Okay, saying GreedCon was getting people kicked out. Yeah, I just talked about that.
I
Yeah.
heard about that. I was in that Discord when that happened, or at least when the messages were flowing through. That person was it seemed like they were attacking WeebCon like a little bit more directly,
I
but
mean, there's a lot of people that had a bad experience, and I'm glad you had a good experience. So people need to understand that when we come and review the conventions on the show, we're not here to badmouth the convention, right? We're here to just talk to people and get their experience at the convention. Not everyone has
A good
the same
experience.
experience, or a good
yeah, yeah,
experience, or a bad
I
experience,
understand that.
and like there's gonna be a couple people like I fucking absolutely hate Anime Matsuri. Like I fucking can't. I will never go back. Has it crossed my mind? Yeah, I mean, if John wasn't fucking there, I would definitely go back. But probably no. It's my beef with John, and we have personal beef. And do we know each other? Yeah, we actually do know each other. And that's my experience. But I'm not gonna go out like I don't tell people like, hey, I was miserable, so you should have been miserable, and you're stupid because you had a good time. No, it doesn't work like
Yeah,
that. But so one of the comments in here, because you said there were a lot of water stations. One of the comments is there was a lack of water stations. Was that? But is that common for last year or this year?
that might have been last year because this year, like, it was hard to miss water stations.
Maybe you think
Um,
the there
because
might be a lot of
anywhere
water
you,
stations, but maybe they weren't refilled as
no,
frequently.
they were refilled. I literally went to every water station because it was hot.
And how spread out were they?
There was at least, I would say, they were spread out in a good decent way. They were always cold. They always had water in them. They always had cups. So there was like those little refill stations.
Hmm.
They were on there was 4 floors. They were on every floor. And there's another like a main event that is across the street from WeebCon, or like the ICC, the Irving Convention Center. That also had water stations too. So it was like hard to miss.
Right.
So we did talk to. Okay, so I'm addressing. Oh, by the way, everybody, please hit the like button on the YouTube channel. Now I have the second time I bring it up. Luthien Gandalf says WeebCon review 6 out of 10. Escalator and entrance lines were way too long. And okay, I already read this. Anime Frontier would never. Couldn't find the game room. Artist Alley was too hidden. Only found it trying to find a restroom. Okay, that was your comment. Regular spam gets you. Saying GreedCon was getting people kicked out. So this was shared in our Discord as well under the con bullshit tab. The water situation alone. That's for so Greek. So last year there were no water stations that we were led to believe.
No, there was not. The water, you had to pay for the water, and the water was like alone $5, $6. And that's just cheap water.
I mean,
So
that
I
sounds
understand
like
that.
bullshit. Like,
Yeah, yeah, that sucked. That was not good. I mean, luckily for me, I mean, I can go out and get water anytime I want. But some
Right.
people, they just don't have that luxury to, you know,
Get water or pay for that
get water
water.
like that because
I
everything
mean,
there was expensive. It's a resort.
I'm gonna share this one. Okay. You got me there. So we are here to badmouth the con. WeEBCON Nightmare. It's a clickbait. Like, did the con was the con any good? Like, somebody gave it a 6 out of 10. Remember, a 6 out of 10 in our review score actually isn't a bad score. It's once you start getting 5 and below, it's when it starts getting bad. We've never reviewed a convention I don't think we have ever reviewed a convention that's gotten below a 6. We have reviewed conventions where we just flat out disqualified them. Like this year, Lighthouse Matsuri has that honor of being just flat out
Yeah.
disqualified. Uh, I don't think anyone could top Lighthouse
Lighthouse
Matsuri.
Matsuri. Yeah.
Yeah,
Is that the one in Port Port Isabel?
it was in Corpus Christi. No, not
Or,
Corpus. It was in San Padre
San
Island.
Padre Island. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That one was. You said it was good. It was great. It
No,
was
no,
good.
no, it got disqualified.
Oh.
Because it was that bad. It
It
was
was
that
Oh
it was
bad.
wow.
so bad it got disqualified.
Oh wow.
The lowest. So in the last, I want to say, in the last 12 months, the lowest score. We're not going to count the disqualified cons because obviously they're not ranked. The lowest scoring convention we've had is, I want to say, between Tasumi Con and the Nostalgia Con, which both got a 6 out of 10.
I was at Nostalgia Con as well in Houston. That one was had a pretty low attendance, but the voice actors were phenomenal. They had a lot of them, an extreme amount of them,
Do you?
which was good, in my opinion, because I like getting signatures.
Mhm. Uh, Let me see. Let me check out the Discord. Oh, actually, let me check out our previous guest who was here. They wanted to share some statements, and maybe we can get your insights on this since you were at the convention as well. Anybody else joining the show would like to come on? Let me know. Okay, so okay, my positives were bag checks. I know people were annoyed by it, but because of the state of this, I'm not going to say that because it'll start a
Yep.
political debate. But because of the way things are and crazy shit that is going on, we need to bag check. I did like how there were restaurants nearby as well. Negatives. So me and my friend got there at 3:20, and we see this long ass line. I already saw how bad the line was on the Discord, and Jesus fucking Christ, it was so bad. People stood in line for 2 to 3 hours, missing different activities and panels. Apparently, the reason why the line was so long was because the security was doing bag checks and pat downs as well. You know, I kind of feel bad for the security because they got to pat down a lot of people that, you know, a lot of people, and it's not easy. And then like some of the, we go to anime cons. Let's just put it out there. Some people don't fucking bathe.
Yep.
Yeah, that's. I mean, it's always put out there. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna lie.
yeah.
The
It's bad.
smelly.
It's bad.
I firsthand didn't smell that much like crazy, but it was out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's I feel like it's something you may just expect every now and then because I've been going to cons for a good while now.
Right, right. No, yeah, it's been a while for me too. It's we've been to so many that I made a joke at a convention about gaming rooms, and some guy got offended. But I'll get into that in a minute. Let me read the rest of this. Once we get in, we were trying to meet up with a friend who was upstairs, and the only way to get upstairs was using the escalator. Not only were people trying to get upstairs, but they were also trying to get their badges, which was near the escalator, so the line was meshing together. A lot of people were confused about which line was which. Now, the line for the escalator went all the way to the back of the front door entrance. We heard some people were in line for 20 minutes plus, so we decided to kill some time with my friend and walk around the dealer's room for a bit. Went back to the escalators and saw the line got longer and decided to say fuck it and decided to use the side stairs to get to the second floor. And later on, I met up with another friend of mine and we wanted to go to the beach panel. Oh, bleach panel, not beach panel. Bleach panel. I go to the app to try to find it, and all it says is the main event area. There was no description for panels at all, so we had to ask around the main events area where it was, and it was in the West End, and that was across the street, which should have been on the app. You would think a big event, including the big VAs from Bleach, would have a description about it, but I guess not. Unfortunately, fans who did want to go missed it. Later on, I go to get an autograph from a VA, and oh boy, the lines were small, squished together like someone who was ADA didn't have much room to maneuver their way through the line and down the table. There also wasn't a lot of volunteers in general. So, and that's another thing that we're going to talk about because that's like a whole different like issue, and I don't think it's just a WeebCon issue. I think that's just a conventions in general issue. In general, especially in the high traffic places. Speaking of while I was in said line, one moment staff is telling volunteers to line to cut off, so obviously people left when it was, and the next moment they weren't, and letting people in. So it's hard to find the artist alley was apparently on the third floor. Also, they got the anime Matsuri treatment, and no one knew about it at all. So yeah, anime Matsuri treatment.
Like,
same fucking shit. That's what they did at Matsuri. They put them on the third floor, said nothing, had no signs or anything. People had to make signs in the middle of con. That's why they had those shitty like last minute signs. It was bullshit. Same with not knowing the other VAs was on the floor above. Luckily, they finally put a sign showing where they up. Anime Matsuri. Second day, woo! My friend's badge broke.
That was a common
How
thing.
does a like the badge broke? Oh, Sonic's
Yes.
here. Joining us is the one, the only, notorious, the man himself, the man with the plan, the Ayatollah rock and roller, the Texas gaming hedgehog, spin dashing his way into your hearts,
chili
your
dog
wallets,
loving.
and he will stick his chili dog in your mouth. Keyblade Sonic.
Not a chili dog guy, but yeah, sure. Let's roll with that.
Yeah, let's roll with that.
Let's roll. Let's rock and roll with that.
Fix
Spin
it.
dash
I'm
to
kidding.
that. How are you guys?
How do you say your name? Is it P M? Can I just call you MP? Is that cool? In the chat.
Oh, in the chat. It's Mapate. Yeah, I just put MP. Hopefully he's okay with that. Is MP okay?
Let us know,
please. we don't like butchering people's names in our.
I really fucking don't.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do apologize in advance whenever.
I feel like a dumbass when I do.
So wait, it's okay.
Can you tell us a little bit about the badges? Because apparently, and this is I'm reading the thing that was sent to me again. This is me reading it, and it says apparently panelist badges were breaking as well. So we go back to the con, and said friend is diabetic, by the way, and was told to dump their juice from their hydro flask. Yeah, so they were. So the story is they were making people dump out water, drinks, anything from flasks, bottles, anything like that. You were there? Is that true?
I did not see it happen, but I don't know if that's like the security or the convention's rules to not have any outside food or drinks.
It's the venues.
I'm not too sure. But what you were saying earlier about the escalator, yeah, that was an issue because they were regulating people going in and out. So they were having like people like one person on one step and three steps, empty space, and then another person. And there's 4 floors and there's 2, there's one going up and one going down. And that's not really like helpful in sense of getting around. Because no one knew where the artist alley was or the voice actors, because they saw voice actors on the first floor, and then the rest of them, the majority of them, were on the 4th floor, and it took a while for you to go up the escalators, all 4 of them.
How many floors was it?
There was 4 floors.
4 floors altogether.
Yeah.
Do you think? I
mean, you could take the stairs too, but I mean,
do you think
the venue not out there?
You think the venue overall, just based on what I can tell? Yeah. No, we were just asking if we just call you MP. Because I don't know how to say your first name. So, like, MP.
We just said
Mapate?
Sorry. Again.
Did I cut off? Or wait, am I?
No, I think Sonic's frozen right now as well.
Oh, okay. He froze. And I thought it was me.
No, I thought it was me too, but it's him.
Oh, there you go. See,
Did you have any issues with your badge getting unclipped as well, or at all?
The badge had a very like sharp clip, and it was clipping on this, I would say, like a little bit of cheap plastic badge. Everyone had the similar like I mean, I have the badge in my hand right now. It's like a cheap flimsy plastic, and the clip is, it's pretty strong. So over time, with you walking over it, it's like denting it, and then over
Okay.
time it just snaps. Some people's badges fell on the floor. We went to get my friend. They had a badge that the top of it broke where it
Hmm.
clips on. So they had
Mhm.
a hole puncher, and then they replaced the clip with a different type of lanyard, like something that just like hooks on it.
Hmm.
Okay.
Um, I'm sorry. This is like I came in during the middle of about the badges and all that stuff. What kind of were the badges laminated by any chance?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, they're
want to make sure.
laminated.
Okay,
So it could have just ripped because of the clip.
yeah,
Yeah. It's definitely the clip, because me just playing around with it right now has like very, very deep
And this is a question
deep
for
cuts.
you, for Autumn, and for MP and Justin, because they know a lot. And I don't know, maybe I should have said that. Uh, but do you feel like the venue itself? Oh, I mean, let me just ask you. Let me get your opinion. Okay, yeah, it was laminated plastic material, by the way, for
okay,
Keith.
good.
Do you think the venue itself is what really, really kind of did a lot of damage toward the con this year? Because let's there's a lot of people. So I'm gonna be honest with you guys. We got a lot in our Discord, in our con bullshit tab.
Hmm.
People talking about the con. People were upset. People are angry. People are pissed. People are talking about being mistreated, like this, that,
Oh
yada yada
yeah, it
yada.
was like an influx. I couldn't even keep up.
Yeah, there was a lot of them. It's just like, uh, especially coming off the heels of last year's WeebCon, you know what I mean, and people still experiencing the fallout from that. And then this year, obviously a little bit of pressure on them to, try to redeem themselves. But based on what I'm seeing, doesn't look like they didn't get the job done in a way.
Mm-hmm. I think, like, because I feel like people are upset more. These are some of the worst opinions I've ever heard. Well, would you like to share your opinion? Well, you are actually more than welcome to join us and share yours. And so we didn't go to the con. We're just going based off of the comment section, what is being sent to us, and
What we're being
uh,
told.
Yeah.
right. So, like, everything that we're saying, this is like in front of me. This was messaged to me. So,
Yeah.
uh,
So,
you think the venue itself kind of um, hurt the convention, maybe? Because a lot of the complaints we got are like
the
lines, a
size and
lot
all
of
that.
lines, the size.
Yeah.
I feel like the lines itself. I mean, yeah, if you want to come on, Jude, if you want to come on and share your opinion, you're more than welcome to. We're
Yeah.
like, we haven't gotten a chance, and the title is just clickbait. That's all it is. It's just me being stupid, and I'll admit it. I'm we need it.
Clickbaity.
Yeah, clickbaity, because
Yeah.
unfortunately, that's how fucking YouTube works, and it's all
Um,
clickbait bullshit now.
yeah. So, and I'm reading the comment section about this too, because like the convention center was the same venue that Acon hosted a couple years ago in 2022. I've been in that convention center. I was also at that convention center for KamehaCon back in like
Mm-hmm.
2019.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, both of those conventions, like, you know, there were some issues, but other than that, it actually ran pretty smooth. And then, as in the comment section, Hunty mentioned that there were had the same issues, except they weren't focusing people to dump their drinks out, which is true because like Acon had no issue. Because also it didn't help too because it was around that time it was like really hot outside at Acon during that year that I guess it kind of they were okay with like letting people bring in drinks and all this stuff. Obviously, as long as it's not like safe ones, you know what I mean? As long
Right.
as it's safe.
So let's address some issues. Right. The drink, no outside drinks, food thing. That's more of a venue
Venue.
issue rather
Mhm.
than a convention issue. I think for and wait, sorry, I have raw on at the same time. But that's more of a venue issue. Like, whenever you book a convention with a venue, they have rules and regulations and things you have to follow. Just like WeebCon last year with the water station, that was not the convention itself. That was the venue. Like the gaylord is people went in there after the convention was over, and they felt like the hotel treated them a lot better than the weekend when they were there. I feel like that hotel in particular just hates cosplayers, Comic-Con, anime cons in general. And it's true. I used to work for a hotel, and a lot of hotels hate conventions, like not just conventions. Like when I worked at the Sheraton Brook Hollow, we had a beauty pageant it was like for little kids and shit. And they absolutely hate, like the staff hated that fucking thing, and they would treat the people like shit. And they had a bondage convention, like one of the BDSM conventions, and they hated that one too because it was like a lot of work. Like they made a big ass mess. Like they broke shit.
Yeah.
And like that's all, any convention in general. Like that's not just exclusive to WeebCon. And the whole, like, one of the things that people told me, it was like the lack of volunteers, and that's not exclusive to WeebCon. Let's just put it out there. A lot of conventions are having a lack of volunteers issue right now.
A lot. Yeah, and I kind of noticed that too. And I think it's kind of safe to say that some of these quote unquote volunteers are just there just to get a free badge and just walk around. Most of them don't actually do their jobs.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, there seems to be a lot of people talking about the ICC was 100% not. Oh, our guest left. ICC was 100% not okay with people bringing outside for their drinks. They were super inconsistent with their enforcement, and it really depended on which person you talk to.
That's happened before. I mean, the ICC. Yeah, that's if you wonder what the ICC is the Irving Convention Center. That's the name of the venue.
Okay.
Obviously to shorten it, but yeah, some conventions, there's a lot of people who take their position too seriously. There's others I'm like, yeah, go ahead, man, don't worry. I mean, it's just water, it's just food. You know what I mean?
So Irving it's not Dallas, but it could be considered
it's in the Dallas area. Yeah, it's like the best way to describe it is like, not saying it's exactly this, but say it's like Irving is to Dallas is Katy is to Houston. That's the best way to
right.
Kind of like that.
Do you think that this convention was packed just because, like, we don't really have a lot of Dallas conventions, or at least anime conventions, right? The two biggest players in our community, the two biggest players, Anime Fest and A-Con, are gone.
And now both of them are gone.
Yep.
They're gone. Like, now, A-Con, could it come back in the near future? We
don't
think
know.
So. We don't know. We think it can, based on what we've heard, based on what we've been told. And yeah, we've actually talked to people that work the convention itself. And this is like not just bullshit, like rumors that we're spreading. Like, could it come back in the future? Possibly. It's definitely, at this point, it's 50-50.
Yeah. It's just also because, like, some conventions, you know what I mean, especially in the Dallas area, those are the two big ones. But then at the same time, like, small ones are starting to rise up, and also ones dedicated to just like one franchise, something like that. For example, Kamea-Con was doing one in Dallas for a few years. My Hero did a convention dedicated to them. Genshin Impact, Sonic. So that's the thing too. It's like you see all these small ones starting to group up. You know what I mean? What's a good analogy? It's like when a giant tree falls and it's like dead, and then a bunch of little like plants starting to rise up on its spot. That's a good analogy. Let's see. So in the comment section, we see, in my opinion, if they can't go back to the Gaylord, they need to move to the Fort Worth Convention Center.
They are going back to the Gaylord.
They are. Oh boy. But do you think they should try like one of these experiment with the Fort Worth Convention Center?
So,
I mean, I've never been there, at least for Anime Frontier.
these are things that we were told by people that went to the con. We don't know anything about the convention. Epic Gamer was there and he had a great time. That's why we had him come on the show and he's talking about the show. Some people went to the convention. They were miserable. Like, our Discord was like
filled
with stuff that, and I didn't really go through it. I'm like, okay, like, because the thing is, there are other events in Texas going on right now. You have the Scarborough Renaissance Festival, which is close to the Dallas area. You had the last weekend of Sherwood Forest Fair, which is close to Austin, Texas.
There is Animeverse that happened in Houston, which I don't remember.
Yeah, and
February. Yeah.
No, wait, wasn't that in February?
Yeah, that was in
Yeah, that was in
February.
February.
Okay.
I was there too.
And
That
then
was
you also had WrestleMania weekend.
WrestleMania was going on, and then Anime Tyler's happening this weekend, and then Collecticon is happening this weekend here in Houston.
Yep.
And a lot of conventions are just happening. That's when like the season of con season start pack up. Start revving up.
Right. So people, I mean, I don't know if WeebCon was bad or not. I have heard.
And like we've heard from experience, and also there's a couple of artists who I follow on TikTok. They were talking about it too. They were just be like, man, this is what they're kind of screwing us over. They're doing this, they're doing that to us, and I'm like, yeah, man, it just sounds like a miserable experience. And it's kind of a shame because I've been to WeebCon twice, and I don't know. That's when I'm like, it's kind of a shame. The potential is there. It's just, I guess there's some things they can't control, obviously, yeah, but there's some things like, okay, they should have done better with that. And the convention and the comment section here, they mentioned the Kay Bailey Hutchinson Convention Center. I'm kind of amazed that there's some conventions that haven't done it. The only ones I know that have done Kay Bailey Hutchinson is I think Dreamcast. I think DreamHack did it there at one point, and then also obviously Fan Expo. They do it there all the time. But I'm pretty shocked that any anime convention has even attempted it. Maybe it's the fees, maybe it's some appeal, maybe I don't know what it is.
I think it just has to do with, honestly, probably the cost, because how big is that building and stuff, and then also you also get an account of like what are they willing for them to host, and what like restrictions, like you were saying, and stuff, are they going to allow to have that convention have and whatnot. So then that would have to also not only account for paying all the guests and all the vendors that are going to be attending, but also just accounting just the end of the con as well, whatever is left.
Right.
I actually wanted to ask Epic Gamer, maybe we can read some of these things to you. You can share with us your thoughts, because you were there at the con. And
so these are from the Discord, right?
Yeah, these are. I can't find the fucking. Okay, there it is. Let me see. This was posted by Nothing Kanani.
It's posted by.
Actually, let me go ahead and save these.
I also want to make a quick disclaimer. Anybody new coming in and joining the stream, we are not trying to shit talk the con. We're actually trying to
figure
understand
what the fuck is going on.
What is going on?
What is going? Yeah.
I know the title on the stream is clickbaity, but it's just so we can work around the algorithm to push it out more, so people know
exactly
what's going on. And if you have your own opinions or your own experience, if you would like to come in,
let us know. Yeah. So here in the comments, we got here from Drop Dead 432. $50 parking, overpriced food, cost per ticket. These kids are mad at free water. Legit tears would flow, dropping $180 before tickets.
Is that like a negative? Like negative comment?
Yeah, that was a negative comment. I believe so. Drop Dead, can you? Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's a negative comment.
Can you just reiterate? There you go.
Yeah, like kind of clarify. Here we go. Here's you can't really see it, but
okay.
All right, yeah. I'm gonna need idols to not attend or host anything for WeebCon ever. They clearly don't give a shit about the idol community here in the DFW. We've been established here for so long that, and they're so blind. I find it funny that WeebCon wants to charge the idols for going overtime, but like LOL ... They introduced our idol fest. our first time back in 2023 and made us cut our show early. Okay, WeebCon official. Not only that, they weren't any help in Idolfest 2024. Our own performing idols were the ones fixing the room and rearranging wires on stage. Oh, and I also remember hearing in 2023, whoa, this really brings out people, but fuck every... God, what the fuck? This is like confusing the fuck out of me. Oh, and I also remember hearing in 2023, whoa, blah, blah, blah. But fuck everyone over the following year and give us a tiny ass fucking space for the festival. Also charging the performers they had to pay for their badge. These talented idols are bringing a crowd for your event. Everything is truly about the money for this fuck ass con. I feel like this is for, I don't know how to say that name. Nothing Kanani. I don't
It's
know.
just a no think Nani. No
Yeah, there you
think
go.
Nani. There you go.
No
think
thinking.
Nani.
No.
No think
Why not?
Nani.
Right. Okay. Let's get
So in the
get
comment
Gaylord back in
says
here.
they mad because they didn't give themselves time to practice. And another one in the comment section, food was too expensive. I paid like $20 for a Gatorade and a sandwich. That's crazy.
That's wild.
Welcome to events. Food is always expensive.
Yeah, I have to agree with MP on that one. Venue food, drinks, at Comic Palooza, it's they do that you know the wagon thing.
Yeah.
They sell the cups for like $40.
Right here.
The bills.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes. They sell
Yeah.
those for $40. They're worth it because you can refill the whole day. Just get free refills, and then the next day when you bring the cup back, it's a $7 charge, and they put like a new wristband on it, and then you can just get refills. And you don't have to buy the cup at every venue.
Yeah.
Every
Just keep that
time,
one.
yeah, you
It's
just keep
kind of
the
like
one cup.
it's like when you go to a theme park and
You got
just
those like theme cups and stuff.
exactly. Yeah. You just buy. It's basically like that. And I still have mine. I have mine since like 2015.
Which is
Yeah.
2023's Comic Palooza's
There you
cup.
go.
So
Yeah, no, I mean at Comic Palooza, it was like what, $20 for like a personal pizza.
yeah,
Dude. Oh my god. It's like
And like
you
it was
better
like,
you better off just like go if you stay in a hotel, just go back to your hotel and order food.
yeah,
what I mean?
and
Yeah.
even then, the only places that I feel like are even remotely like you're gonna fill yourself up, but like it's like expensive, which is the tall grass, I believe. That's like in there.
that that's smart. Like, oh, did they have food trucks at WeebCon? They said the food trucks outside slapped.
Yes, they did.
Oh, okay.
They were reasonably priced, in my opinion.
Well, food trucks are gonna have like a price hike, but overall, like that's why conventions bring the food trucks, because they're going to be cheaper than the convention. If you buy things from the actual like convention center itself or the hotel, it's gonna be fucking expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really not in the
There's really
not
no
the
way getting
convention's fault.
around it.
Yeah.
It's in some cases not the convention's fault. If anything, it's the
fucking venue's fault.
Yeah,
It's the
sometimes
venue,
sometimes the venue, sometimes it's the convention, sometimes both. Sometimes it could be something outside of it. If anything, if something like that happens, you basically would just have to I don't know, you gotta like prepare better. I don't know, maybe they should allow like snacks or something like that. Like, I don't know, like a bag of chips.
I saw that.
He's like $20 for a personal pizza. At that price, I certainly would take it personal.
Yeah, like dude, you can get like you could probably get like a whole pizza, like at least two of them for that price.
Dude, I spent like $200 at Delta. I don't. Were you there? Like 200 or 300, and I fed everybody. I bought like 100 sandwiches, like burgers and chicken sandwiches and all that shit.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was like I also bought fries and chicken nuggets because people are fucking special.
Or they're picky, because not everybody likes burgers. I'll say that.
A cheeseburger or regular burgers.
And then somebody had the audacity to ask me to buy them a fucking meal.
Yeah. Oh my god.
You want a Happy Meal with that too?
No, they wanted a fucking Big Mac meal. I was like, you piece of shit. Fine.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you I'll give you a double cheeseburger. I'll get a bun, put it in the middle. There you go. No, but like yeah, because sometimes the food, and especially when you have kids, no, I totally understand that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's a crappy situation, with stuff like that. But I'm sure some venues would probably let you bring, I don't know, like a bag of chips or something like that, or like a small water.
Some venues don't allow. I know Comic Palooza is also guilty of not allowing you to bring shit inside.
Yeah,
that's why we're
very
not
strict
really
about that.
the issue. Like I haven't really like said anything. Like we brought it up, but I really don't have anything negative to say about them telling people like, hey, look, you can't, like, it's not the convention, it's the venue, and they said that no one is allowed to bring outside shit in. And then like based on the comments we've seen, what I was sent, some people were able to take their shit inside because some of the volunteers were like cool like that, like, yeah, you know what, just fuck it, and I think that says a lot more about the people working the show than
the venue itself.
Yeah, be careful because there are two companies that go to the shows that basically do the same thing. Make sure you bring the right cup for the right vendor. I like to collect the cups, so I just buy them because they always have a different one every year.
Yeah.
We'll see if I buy this year's.
I think the food is like. Did you buy any food, Gamer, at the venue, or did you do food truck, or did you order?
Is he on?
Oh, can you hear me? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, I did buy food. I bought something from the food truck. It was boba, reasonably priced for boba, I guess you can say.
Okay.
How much was the food? Well, at least just the boba.
The
And
food I
whatever.
got like some chicken strips. There was like some small chicken tenders. They were like
like a
10
tender
bucks.
basket. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
they were pretty priced in at the convention. I'm not gonna lie, but I mean that's what you expect at a convention.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, well, like somebody said they bought a Gatorade here. How much did they pay?
$20 for a Gatorade and a sandwich.
I mean, can we get some? Like, what kind of sandwich? Are we talking like a ham and cheese sandwich?
Yeah.
I think you're just a standard slap school lunch ham and cheese sandwich. There you go.
I mean, am I paying
Have a good
$20 for
day.
a Lunchable and like a Capri Sun?
Lunchable, an adult Lunchable.
I mean, there are certain things that like. What about? I mean, the food. If the place sells food, they typically won't let you bring food in references. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
If the venue does sell food, which is a lot of them, they won't let you bring outside food in. But conventions have started doing. It was a I don't know what the fuck that is, but
yeah, and also too, it's like great example, Anime Expo. They allow us to bring like water bottles to like refill and stuff. They allow us to bring like chips and stuff. And even though they had food inside the convention center, I think they're pretty cool with it, as long as obviously you don't bring anything like too big. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like Anime Expo had a lot more cheaper options outside.
I mean, I could kind of, vouch for both. There are people that have underlining, disabilities or issues or sicknesses that require them to carry like stuff with them,
dietary restrictions and whatnot.
But anytime, if I take anything with me, I don't take any drinks or like I'll probably take a bottle. I do carry a bottle with me on my cosplay, but like I always assume that you could not, like, I assume that if it's a convention center that you can't take outside food or anything like that. But if it's like a hotel, then it's not a.
I will say for the 3 years that I went to Comic Palooza, it was worth the purchase to have this on hand. So the cup itself. So I've yet to have anybody come up to have that.
Oh.
Okay, I think my thing coming up. And Jude says, if an attendee we walk
into a place for 3 days with no plans for food or spending money for food, I don't know how well we prepared. If I was an attendee, we walk into a place for 3 days with no plans for food or spending money on food. I don't know how well we prepared.
I don't have an issue. So one of the things that people were talking they had issues with, and Gamer, and I want to get everybody's thoughts in the comment section. And Gamer, I want to get yours. They were patting people down. Were they pretty thorough with the pat down? And do you think that was a good thing or a bad thing?
As far as I've been there 3 days and going in and out, no one was pat down.
Okay.
They did bag checks and and prop checks, but it just depends who you have and how. It's like inconsistent behavior. Some people would check your bags
Right.
very thoroughly, and some of them would just go with a stick and just open the bag, glance, okay, go.
Just like
You know,
You'd be like, all right, you don't have any contraband, you're good.
like it seemed like some of them were checking thoroughly, and some of them were just like, I would say, like half-ass, like look, okay, go, look, go. But I mean,
I think that's all.
um,
Sorry,
what were we gonna say? Sorry,
I was going to ask you. Well, so you didn't get pat down, but you didn't see it at all happen to
I did not
anybody
see anyone
at
get
all?
pat down.
Okay. Did anyone else not see that happen? Because I'm just trying to get like a
clear.
feel on
Yeah.
this.
Clarification on everything
Because
that's been said.
like who the fuck had an opinion is over here messaging me and they have an opinion, and it's not Mudman. Before he starts, don't get bad, bro. It's not you. But somebody on Instagram like had an opinion. I'm like, oh, what days did you attend? Oh, I didn't go. And I'm like,
If you didn't go, why do you?
yeah, I can't share your shit.
Okay. Suffering says I was pat down Friday. It was a TSA random check. So basically, it's kind of like going to the airport, basically.
Okay, so
For bag
do you
checks,
think
you
it could
have
have
to
been
see.
like random?
I didn't see anything random.
You maybe you think, and this is me asking
I'll be back.
everybody, do you think maybe it could have just been like the one like security or volunteer that just kind of got like over with power, like, oh, I'm gonna
It
pat
could,
this person
yeah.
down or whatever.
I feel like it was. Some people were doing, I would say, their job more excessively than others. Like with the escalators, they regulated that, so there was
Mhm.
lines just to go up because I guess there was a weight distribute with the escalators. But if that's the case, then there's escalators on the third and fourth floor that were just letting them through. Just like, yeah, just standing there and getting paid to just stand there. Because they weren't regulating nothing. They were just like, yeah, you can go, you can just go in. I'm just here
Right.
to
So
chill.
this was sent in by an attendee. Uh, they asked to. They said Friday they only had one entrance to get into the con. Plus, they did bag checks and pat downs, so people were in the line for 2 to 3 hours. They had it at the Irving Convention Center, which was smaller than the Gaylord, so it was super crowded. The crowd was there in line for the escalator. I kid you not, people were in line for the escalator 20 plus minutes. They fucked up a lot of people's badges. Also, badges were flimsy, and a lot of them broke. And like I think one of the commenters said that it's just like the metal piece when it clips on at the very top. That happens to a lot of badges. It's not exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
The security venue was flimsy as well, depending on who you got. So you couldn't bring in any outside water. Okay, so yeah, they did say that the security was not like the same with everybody.
Yeah, it was inconsistent with security with me. I mean, some of them.
Sonic said he would be back, and then I guess he disconnected.
Nah, I'm back.
Okay.
Yeah, but let's see.
Yeah, no, they do pat downs at like all the clubs in Houston. Bars, clubs, they usually have a cop or security or one of the staff members pat down. That's actually normal, especially in a massive city like Houston, because you never know who's going to bring in a gun.
Yeah, who's concealed carrying?
Oh, I didn't realize he dropped.
Yeah, he.
Yeah, I agree. I think it just depends on how rough you're being with your lanyard. Mine lasted all weekend, and I put it through some things. You know what? That's actually a good point. Thank you for bringing that up. It was the ICC hired security, and if they went with Barton Universal, then they are fucking inconsistent because they used to work for that company and they have a fuck it attitude. Like, fuck this shit attitude.
Can I read one of the ones we got from the Discord about WeebCon?
Yeah, and yeah, let's get their thoughts on it too.
Okay,
Right.
so this is from a Instagram story from user Zumakukos. I'll just read it here. And I quote, this is a quote. So WeebCon was definitely mixed for me. Felt more like LineCon this year compared to last year, especially in the morning. Even then, there was also the long ass line in the early afternoon just trying to go upstairs. It was ridiculous. I will say that in the late afternoon and evening, things did die down line wise. What gets me is that there was a handful of things they could have done differently when it comes to where everything was placed. I get that it's a lot harder to manage a con altogether, especially when the location works against you. I'm just baffled that they were vendors in the parking garage this year, especially since it was very humid. I feel bad for those vendors, honestly, because I've never been to a con where vendors are in a parking garage connected to the convention center. Wow, WeebCon, thanks for setting a new record. Even then, they repeated the same thing from last year, where the artist alley was placed in another location separate from the exhibit hall, aka the dealers. They couldn't even have all of their voice actors all in one location. Two-thirds of them were upstairs on the fourth floor, while the others were in the exhibit hall on the first floor. Really works against you where you meet most of them upstairs, then go downstairs to find the others. What also got me was that they even put the card and board game vendors on the third floor as well as with the artist alley, and one maybe two vendors were out in the hallway instead of being in a room. I honestly can't believe that. But again, when you have a smaller location, there's only so much that can be done. I will give them that they had a few water stations this year, so that's an improvement. But even then, their schedules were inconsistent and also felt like they should have been more on top of sending updates in their Discord server and websites. Just saying.
Wait. Hold on. What's with this? I think you guys are actually right. WeebCon should have shouldered the cost of remodeling the ICC before the show and built a second or third. Wait, who?
Have it?
Wait, who's that?
What?
What?
No,
The
it's that
comment?
comment. Like, I'm trying to figure out like who.
Who that is?
Well, no, I know who commented that comment. I'm just trying to figure out who. Like, it's like because I'm trying to keep up with like the conversations in the chat.
Right.
I think it's stupid to like the security pat. Not everyone. Okay, so let's rewind. Let's go back. Let's not jump subjects. Obviously, not everyone got patted down, right? And that's not. It wasn't like the con security, right? Because for one, you can't call convention. You can't call volunteer security, right? You have to call them safety. You can't call them security. And we have somebody here that could, agree or disagree with me because they run shows and all that shit. And you, like, for the most part, you can't, like, even at conventions, you can't call raves anymore because it's a liability issue. You have to call them dances and shit like that.
Yeah.
But, like, if they were actually security, then they were obviously hired by the hotel. They weren't hired by the con. And I feel like there are a lot more people that have positive things to say about WeebCon, which is good. Like I said, we didn't go to the convention. We don't, like, I don't have my personal opinion. Like, obviously, I'm going to ask everybody to give it a score on a scale of 1 to 10, including Epic Gamer and the people in the chat. Yeah, you can't call it security. I was correct. I did work for a security company, and a lot of the security companies do have a lot of employees who don't give a fuck about their job. I used to work for 5-Star, which does like WWE events, and we did Dynamo games and Rockets games and all that shit. And well, not Rockets games, but we did Dynamo and WWE and,
Events and
Center.
stuff. Yep.
and sorry, I lost my train of thought. But like a lot of them just like whatever. This fucking job sucks. This is bullshit. So it is what it is, but we do have one. We've had a third-party security, which they had no choice on. The venue required them, and that team. It's because the comment moved, and the venue required them, and that team was there. Yeah, so that is true. A lot of convention venues do require you to hire a security team that's that they recommend or they have to include. So that is not the convention's fault. Like, and honestly, they were bag checking. I mean, do you know how we're at an anime convention, right? Anyone could sneak in like a metal keyblade and then hit somebody over the fucking head with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some conventions that don't like allow. Like I remember one time I went to Onicon and they wouldn't let me in with the Keyblade because it was metal, obviously.
Yeah,
Which was smart because imagine like posing and then you actually hit somebody from the back.
Yeah, I
That's a lawsuit
remember
waiting to happen.
on my first year at Comic Palooza, I bought the metal keyblade, and it had like a plastic rubber cap on the end of it, and it was fine when I bought it. No one said anything, but the next day when I tried to bring it back, they were like, yeah, you could hurt someone with this." So they confiscated it, and I had to get it at the end of the day. So they
okay.
kept
This was sent to us, and it's about the pat downs.
It was not there Friday
maybe
morning, so that's probably why I'm reading the comments as well about pat downs.
So you were on what days were you there?
it's like towards the middle at the top middle.
It was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but I went Friday
Okay.
afternoon. I did not go and wait in line in the morning.
Right, no life metal on Confloor. That's dude. Like this happened at a convention. This guy I know, they were like they had a dance. They had like a small dancing circle, and he, when he flung his arm because he was dancing, he had a fucking kunai in the fucking sleeve.
What the fuck?
And it got loose, and it fucked. And I was this is 2009.
What
2009 or 2008, and like it hit me in the forehead, but I was wearing a Naruto headband, and I still have the headband, and it has the mark where the kunai hit it. It wasn't like super sharp or anything, but it was still metal.
Yeah.
And it fucking hit it indented, but it made like a little like
scratch.
Yeah, a little scratch. And the cops saw that shit, walked over there to him, and they were going to arrest him because he had a metal kunai hidden under his sleeve, and it flew out when he flung his arm. That is why I don't think people should have metal weapons. Because I think I don't have a problem with searching bags or, people getting checked. But like people hide shit in their cosplays. Not everyone does it, but there's always that one asshole, that one jackass.
Or that very small percentage that do that.
And that shit, I was like 2008, I think it was like 20, maybe 21. And like, this was, okay, I'll even tell you what convention was. This Anime Matsuri in the Woodlands. But this is why we have back, somebody could bring in a shank.
Yep.
I don't remember. Okay, sorry, you posted 2 comments. I got lost track of it. I don't remember people having this much smoke for temp checks or making lines take forever. I mean, I actually have to agree with you a bit. I think it's kind of. I get why they did the line. Okay, obviously, if the lines were long enough that there was a wait, obviously there were a lot of people that wanted to go to the convention. They wanted to support the convention, especially in the Dallas area when there is a lack of conventions right now. Safety, anybody could sneak in a stupid kunai, a metal kunai, and accidentally, throw it at somebody.
Or something much worse, but
right. I mean, nobody remember. Does anybody remember WEEBCON 2013 when the line was like several hours long on a Thursday?
And was this at the basically the
Anatone, I think?
The Anatone. Okay.
Remember, were you there that year where it was like a 5-hour, 6-hour wait for badges?
No, I never. Actually, the first time I went, my first con was San Japan 2013. So it was
wow.
like months before I started going.
Right. So, like, I remember conventions. There are conventions with lines that are massive. And, like, it's not just the knives, dude. Like people bring it. Like remember that? I don't know if you guys remember, but I don't know if there's a lot of people here that remember. But there was a time when they were bringing in wooden paddles and smacking people with them.
Oh God,
I do remember.
I
do
see
remember
those
stories.
videos. I remember the videos. I this is before I attended cons, but I remember people doing like uh reels of like the convention from the first day to the last day, and I saw a few of those videos of like,
Oh, was it? Okay, it was at the Sheraton. My bad. I remember one year some people tried to sneak in Bad Dragons.
that's wild, bringing in paddles to fucking smack people.
Um. Oh, do you guys remember when they were? Personally, I feel like those are more dangerous than kunai. I think any kind of metal weapon or wooden block. I don't know if you remember, but at one point, like people were taking in Pokeballs and like throwing them at people, and it hit like a few people in the face. I forget what convention it was, but somebody had like a plastic solid Pokeball and it hit somebody in the face.
Oh God.
Yeah, if it's something like a plush, sure, but something like that, yeah.
Even then, people don't like you throwing anything at them at this point.
So just had lines every year. Acon has long ass lines every year, and I remember, yeah, the glomping movement, that was the thing. Like the community. Here's the thing. People, I feel like, they're just upset about the lines, honestly.
Yeah.
I feel like that's really what it comes down to, except for the idol. I don't know if anybody could shed some light on this. Anybody here that's watching, they could shed some light on. Maybe can't speak about it on maybe you can message me on Instagram or Discord and anonymously kind of give some insights. But I mean, they were there. This is an idol group, and one of the things that caught my eye was, they made us cut our show early. We had to cut the cosplay contest early at IkiCon. I think it was 2012, because Vic was doing a rehearsal in the room next to the cosplay competition, and he didn't want anyone to hear him rehearse, so they literally ended the cosplay competition. Not even all the walk-ons had gone on.
So basically, I had like time constraints.
Yeah. One time, I think Anime Matsuri even did their award ceremony in the fucking hallway because they ran over time. So, I mean, sometimes shit happens. You know, you got to cut times. Maybe, like, you got to accommodate the guests. Cards, as they say in the professional wrestling world, cards subject to change. Do you know anything about this idol group, Epic Gamer? Or does anybody here know anything about this idol group that was there this past weekend?
I passed by it. I
So,
believe they're talking about a panel where they were at, or like a little event they had.
well,
Um,
okay, maybe I'm fucking up. Maybe this is from just a couple years ago, and they're just bitching now.
no, I've heard people talk bad about it because they were going over time. Uh, I saw that the WeebCon relations they were talking about it, and they didn't know that the whatever hotel was running it, that they were gonna charge them 5,000 for going over time. WeebCon didn't know about that, so it wasn't WeebCon's fault because they even said we didn't hear about this. Like, if you want to let us know, like, well, we're gonna talk to them about it. We're gonna talk about to whoever was running that convention. We're gonna talk to them about that because they didn't know about that.
We have another comment. Actually, no, I don't know what a bad dragon is. Do you guys know what bad dragons are?
Yes.
What are they?
It is an adult company for adult toys.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. About the idol, unfortunately, the entire idol post just screams entitled to me. If they were wronged in any way, that sucks, and I feel for them. But complaining about paying for a badge, yeah, I mean, it does say in the so most conventions will have you buy the badge first, and they will compensate you. Most cons do say that unless you have a certain X amount of hours, then you don't get a free badge. Or if you have X amount of hours, this will equal one badge or two badge or three badge or four badge. This is something that you kind of read as a panelist. These are in the final, like, when you sign up for a panel and you get accepted, it's kind of like a contract, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it even tells you, do you agree with the terms and like conditions for this submission? And you're like, yeah, I agree with this shit. And when it comes to, and they do complain about like, oh, we had to set up our own room. I don't know if I can agree with them on that particular complaint. We host karaoke for a couple of conventions, and we set up our own panel. We have to set up all of our own panels. And some conventions, you have to bring your own equipment.
Mm-hmm. They don't
Or
provide your own.
I would say it's a smart idea to bring people to help you set up and stuff, because I feel like it's a pain whether if you know that you are going to receive help or like you said, where you're just going to have to do it by yourself.
Mm-hmm. And then getting back to they got short like panel needs to start. Yeah, that's. I didn't. Did they say they started late?
Because of it is like if you're late for a panel and it gets cut for time towards the end, that's kind of on you. You know what I mean? Like you should have expected that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm gonna put that on a shirt.
Oh no!
I'm gonna put that on a shirt. WEEBCON would be nothing without the one small idol performance.
We're about to get so many shirts at this point.
I don't know who the fuck this person is. I don't.
Mally Flanagan.
Yeah, I don't.
That's the voice actress of Naruto.
Oh. Yeah, I only recognize her because she was in Yes. She's in the movie Yes. She was the chick that made all the cakes.
Always bring your own HDMI with extension. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Always dude, we bring our own soundboard, our audio mixer. We brought our own speakers. Hell, for AllCon, we even brought our own fucking monitor, like our own 50-inch TV to show shit. Like depending on if you're gonna, and I feel like a lot of panelists don't realize that when you sign up for a con, I'm not really good with names. I do have I do have a couple of disabilities that make it kind of hard for me to remember names. I have to hear a name.
Uh-oh.
No, you froze. I think you froze.
We have them.
Goku, do you want to take off the thing on the story thing on the screen?
Yeah. Well, I was still gonna address this real quick.
Okay.
Because we had somebody else, Kiwi Slayer, trying to join the show. I was trying to add them, but I guess my connection kind of. Yeah, I'm sorry about the name thing. I'm not really good with names. But as a panelist, it's your job to set up your room, bring everything that you might need that the convention clearly states in the sign-up sheet that they can't provide, or they, right? So
they may not provide your own.
Right. And it's also your job to promote your panels. Unless you have like a big following and people recognize your brand, your name, or who you are, then it's your job as a panelist to put asses in the seats of the panel that you're hosting or the show. Deacon Rap, as much shit as we give him, he fucking he advertises the shit out of his shows.
Mm-hmm.
So much that I'm like, hey man, get that shit off my Discord. I'm tired of seeing it.
Get the fuck out of here. Go.
Yeah, no, we actually, I agree with MP. We do scout, like, hey, because I've hung out with Sonic at cons. I'm like, hey, I'm about to go check out the panel room and look. I'm gonna go see what it looks like, so we can plan.
Yeah,
because we don't like descriptions, maps on a website don't do any fucking justice, right?
Yeah, and because every panel room and every venue is different. You know what I mean? Even if they look the same, some of them could be different. You know, for example, there could be a moment where you think all of them will have like 4 extension plugs, but they don't. Some would have 2, some would have 1, etc. In the comments, let's see. Also, when you do host a panel, you're supposed to be there at least 15-20 minutes earlier. That's true. That should be like the common rule. Like a common courtesy.
Right. Well, like you're supposed to end your panel 10 minutes to 15 minutes early. Wait, is that what they said?
No, you're supposed
No,
to
they said to
to
come
when you get there to
to
prepare.
be able to prep and stuff.
A
'cause-
lot of cons do require you to end your panel like 15 or 10 minutes before the panel is supposed to actually end, or at least start wrapping up, so the next show can start setting up.
Mhm.
I agree. Hey boss, I work at 12 and leave for work at 9:59. Oh yes. How do you get yourself there on time? It's up to the panelists to like it's your job as a panelist to work around everything, right? If you know you have several panels and the lines are fucking long and bullshit, then you should be prepared for that. I mean, most panelists, including myself, will just hang out on the con floor the whole fucking time. At BalCon, I had 6 panels back to back to back. Like, I think I only had like a 30-minute break between 2 panels, and I just stayed on the floor. I didn't go anywhere. I just walked around for 20 minutes and then head to my panel 10 minutes before it starts. Any con we have, we usually leave for our panels 30 minutes before they start. Because we don't know if the elevator is going to be fucking ridiculous. We don't know if it's going to be hard to find. We don't know. Anything could factor in, right? Especially if I'm doing a show in cosplay. Am I going to get stopped? Is that going to make shit worse? Don't be late, sir. Oh, yes. Oh, I got to talk to you anyway about this weekend. Like I said, you got to actually think in Google to make sure you're there on time. I think not just Google. I think when you get to the venue, I think it's your. Not everyone does this, but I like to go and scout the convention. Okay, where are these panels? Okay, let's go find the panels so we know where they are when we need to look for them. We did that at Allcon because Allcon has kind of like a really weird layout, but we went looking for the panels. Okay, these are these are these. So we know, okay, I just need some. I have a handler that tells me, okay, you have a panel at 2. Okay, it's 1:30. Let's go. Okay, hey, you have another panel at 3. Okay, let's go. Right? But we know where the panels are. We know how big they are. We know how they're going to work, how we're going to set things up. And it's very important as a panelist, like you have to advertise. You have to run your show right. You have to be professional about it. If I have complaints, I will tell Tyler. Like, I will tell Anime Tyler Texas, like, hey, this is the issue I had. Maybe an electrical socket wasn't working. Maybe the lights went out. Like, hey, this is an issue for next year. I'm not gonna. But like, if it's something on my end, which shit does happen, I do have like issues occasionally, faulty equipment, faulty wires, and we had some faulty wires at Delta last year. But I owned up. I'm like, you know what, this is my fault. I should have tested the wires before we came out, and I always do, but I didn't that time. And so it is the panelist. I feel like the idol group could be just. There are. I don't want to. Okay, I'm just gonna fucking say it. Some fucking groups are entitled.
Yeah.
Some fucking groups are fucking entitled. Like, I know some fucking panelists, professional panelists, by the way. Okay, we have another, yes, Kiwi Slayer. Welcome. Can you hear us?
Please hold. I guess we heard them for a second.
I agree. With there's easily tens of thousands of people there. Leave sooner. The fact that and then the fact that, okay, can y'all confirm or deny? Maybe Gamer, for sure. Maybe you probably don't know because you were just an attendee. Did they allow panels to start late?
I didn't see any panels start late. They usually were
Okay.
on time, but some did go over time. Some did start slightly early, but it seemed everything was
So
pretty good. I mean, I wasn't a panelist, so I don't
right.
know
But as an
entirely.
attendee, maybe you attended a panel and maybe they just started late.
Yeah, so every panel had to be cleared out. So every room, like you couldn't stay if you wanted to stay for the next panel in that same room. They would kick everyone out, and there would be a line for panel rooms or main events are the same as well. But they did go overtime. I did see the cosplay contest go overtime.
Okay, hold on. I gotta. All right, for those of you that are not aware, Anime Tyler Texas is this coming weekend. We have 3 panels. The Geeks Forever podcast has 3 panels, and we'll be doing a live podcast. Jude, MP, if y'all are there, I would actually like to have y'all on my podcast and to talk about the convention. We'll be doing a live podcast from the show. I mean, also, if y'all, I don't know what panel, I gotta check my panel list.
Are you guys Texas
We
based
are in
or
Houston,
like?
Texas.
Seems like you guys are. Okay, I'm in Houston too.
Yeah,
Bet.
we're Texas based.
So we do have some things, but I think maybe this individual would like to join and talk on person. We're not going to say who they are. We'll just call him Demon Slayer. You see the chat, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it says here, WeebCon did not clear rooms. It's industry standard to clear a room to allow the next panel proper time to set up. I think also it's like a fire marshal thing as well. I believe so. In a way, that's why they have to clear it up. Like,
Anime Tyler, Texas is in Tyler, Texas. Did I? Yeah. But we will be there this coming weekend. We look forward to working with them. We look forward to harassing Toa. We're just gonna like follow him with the trombone the whole weekend. That's not true. I can't play the trombone. But we will be there. I'll be cosplaying the Macho Man Randy Savage, and I also have my Uppy sign. I'm known as Mr. Uppy, so I do lift people off the ground. And I don't have to lift you off the ground. I can actually give you spiritual, mental, I can give you advice, I can cheer you up, head pats, hugs. I like to make people feel good. Have you ever herded cats? Not easy. Sir, I don't even herd myself. I have a producer for that. Sponic's job is not only to like ask me, like give his thoughts, read the comments, but his job is also to steer me back in the subject.
On track.
Yes. All right, Goku. Let's go back to the question. I think panelists. There are a lot of panelists. Like I've worked with Suffering before, and he's a professional panelist, and he does a really good job of like being on time, ending on time, clearing his shit out. And now there are a lot of panelists that break all the fucking rules. They don't give a shit. And and it's not fair to the convention. Yeah, so every convention should have somebody going to the rooms like, hey, get shit and get out. Right?
Yeah, because in the comments it says here, it's unfair for the people in the room to cross over to the next one when they stay in line the whole time. And then the other comment, One Up Definitive Studio says, I meant for panel rooms like getting a cat in a bath. They don't want to go in.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so basically any cat owners out there, you can understand that and why they meant by that.
I mean, it's clearly stated, and this is for like a lot of the new panelists. It's clearly stated in the rules when you sign up for a panel that you got to be done by this time, you got to be out by this time. A lot of conventions don't have like okay, we're going to allow you 15 minutes before your show starts to set up, but it's not a requirement that you're there the 10 or 15 minutes before, but you do have to be there when it starts and ready to go. So that's on the panelists. There are a lot of people that sign up for panels and they don't no show. There are a lot of people that are now signing up for volunteers that are no showing cons. And I feel sorry, I'm also reading these things at the same time. It's not just the conventions. It's not the convention's fault if panelists no show, if volunteers no show, because there is a volunteer shortage nowadays, right? Mm-hmm. There are so many conventions, people are burned out.
Yep.
There are, and like you don't see the same. Yeah, and then people get turned away from panels when they're filled to capacity.
There was staff at the front after panels were cap counting. This can't be true, Hunty. Definitely not for The cap rooms have staff counting people. Yeah, because you ever seen like people like when volunteers they have that little clicker whenever
Yep.
someone goes in, they have to count like how many people are in the room. That's basically what it is. Okay.
Oh, for enemy tally text, I'm gonna show up to my panel, just lay all my shit all over the floor, and just like it's gonna be like my bedroom in that panel. But I will clear out my mess before the next show starts. I got you. I'm fucking. I'm not gonna do that. I don't bring equipment with me. There was a side door and a couple of people sneaked into that. That is an issue at a lot of conventions. I know that was an issue at Anime Matsuri when
it's gonna happen.
people
times.
sneak in. It's a fire code thing. You got to have. Just don't wear a luchador mask during your panel. Fuck.
Oh my god.
Damn it.
God damn it.
Yeah. So I do have to agree. They always have like a friend inside that pops the side doors if there are any side doors, or like if you work in a hotel, they always have like that one door that leads into like the hallway for staff, like those little hallways that they walk through for like housekeeping and stuff like that. There's always somebody in there to pop the doors to like let them in because maybe it's an 18 plus panel and they can't get in, so they're going to try to sneak in, or maybe they don't have a badge and they're just trying to sneak them in for that panel.
Mm-hmm.
And it's actually an issue. Leave your dirty laundry at home, sir. But I mean, overall, I mean, so gamer, you didn't see any panels start on late. You did see a few end late though. I mean, and it's really, I don't know if anybody else knows anything about that. We should have enough volunteers for both sides of every door. WEEBCON should have enough volunteers
I
for both
can't
sides.
say much about it because I wasn't a panelist and I went to a few panels. But I mean, the cosplay contest, I don't know if you count that as a panel, but that one ended pretty late.
I feel like
yeah, they kind of count.
Mhm.
I think most main events usually count as panels anyway.
Plus, let's. I don't know if this actually happened with the Idol show, but I feel like they showed up, took forever to set up, because they had to set up their own shit, right? Set up their own panel room, so they started late, and then they tried to go over, and they were told no. I feel like that.
Probably because it was, I think, the last panel of the day in the main event room. So if they were to go over time, that's on the hotel's time, not on the next panel because there is no next panel. That's probably why they were frustrated. I don't know. I just walked past it and I didn't even know what an idol was. But
Right.
yeah.
I agree though with this comment. The volunteer, and we said this earlier, like it is a community issue. It's just that when we had when a few years ago, like 10 years ago, you saw the same volunteers at all the cons because it was like one every month.
Yep.
Now it's like one every week. I mean, it's just like the volunteers are spread thin because volunteers still have to pay for their way to get there, right?
Yep.
They still have to work regular jobs. They got to get time off. I know people that only go to like 2 shows a year because that's all they because they save up and it's just like they work and they can't get the time off, or it's just too expensive. Like even if you volunteer for a con, work enough for a free badge and a free hotel, you still got to get your ass up there.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think that WEEBCON, and if this isn't just WEEBCON, this is every convention. Like when people say the lack of volunteers, oh, well, it sucked because they didn't have a lot of volunteers. Then fucking volunteer. You want to see a fucking difference? Then maybe you should help out.
Basically, put your money where your mouth is.
You be the difference. You be the change that you want to see.
I literally tell every convention, like, hey, except for Delta, because I know the security staff and they're badass and we work together. We collab because we started doing wristbands, so we check IDs if you're gonna be in the karaoke room and have alcohol. You're gonna have to have the wristband to drink, right? But we tell hey, if you need your volunteer somewhere else, I'll have one of my guys check badges and IDs at the door, and we'll help out. For our panels, we will check badges, we will check IDs. So maybe they'd have more gigs if they don't post like that. Yeah, I feel I'm not really too well versed in the idol community. I know there's groups and solo idols. I know Mochi, who's in the Discord, is an idol. I really don't. I didn't even know what fucking idols were. They were just like, oh, it's the Vocaloid, Miku, kind of like that. People go on stage and dance. I'm like, oh, okay, that's like Deacon Rap, where
Love
they just
Life
go on
and all that.
stage. Yeah. So it's like Deacon Rap, where he goes on stage and raps, and like, I'll listen to one song and then I'll like run for the door.
Gotta go.
Yeah. Let's see. Cons being too expensive and are too far is why my broke ass only goes to Alcon. Bitch, you better go to Delta. And you're going to Tyler too. You better. It's literally down the street. We told you about it. You're going. We'll see the challenges they face as a volunteer in a show. It's not as easy as sitting at a door you are talked down to, so you're disrespected and expected to maintain a professional as a volunteer. It's not an easy thing. Yes, people do look at you like you're the devil whenever you are checking badges or, and these are the rules. If I want to be here and I want to enjoy the show for free, then, it's a job because you're being compensated with a badge to an event, which, does cost money.
Yep.
I mean, but people complain about volunteers all the time. Maybe you should volunteer. You don't have to volunteer for a full 24 hours. You can volunteer. Some cons are like, hey, man, if you just volunteer for like 3 panels, we'll appreciate the shit out of you. We'll give you like a discount on the badge or something. It just depends on the con and what they offer, right?
Oh, yeah, we forgot about the link.
We will drive to Dallas, sir, and we will drag you down here. Deacon is the most reliable idol in Texas community. Deacon is the most reliable idol. He is an idol. Now, he's not a rap star. He's an idol. Deacon Rap the idol. I heard several people swear out one of the nicest security guards I encountered at the venue this weekend. I felt terrible for her. Yeah, and you know what? They have, when you work at a job, you have to maintain some level of professionalism, right? You can't just fight back. You can't. I mean, did everyone enjoy the convention? Probably not. Do some people think it's a shit show? Probably. Some people had different experiences. Like, for instance, us with Anime Matsuri, I have my issues with Anime Matsuri, but there are people that love the convention and they still go and they support it. And I do have my gripes, but am I going to stop people from going? No, absolutely not. I mean, but I'm not going to go. But, it's Deacon. No, Deacon's cool. We mess with him. We mess with him all the time, especially because we had to. We run some of his panels for him whenever he can't make a show. He'll ask Suffering, or he'll ask TJ, or he'll ask me to do it, or vice versa. We'll ask him to run a show for us. So we do help each other in that's how it is in the panelist community. When you kind of like been in this community for a while and you're friends with some of the other panelists, you can ask other panelists to run your show, or vice versa. They'll ask you to run their show. Unfortunately, the con etiquette has gone out the window in the past couple of years. It was
not just con etiquette, common sense and manners.
Common sense and manners, and I feel like a part of it played with the Rona. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, and I think that was like 5 years ago too.
Mm-hmm.
Did people that go to WeebCon that had financial issues, should they have planned better? Yes.
Yes, 100%.
Absolutely. And I think not just WeebCon, but any con in general.
Any con in general. If you can't afford, I know some. We actually let somebody stay in our room at OniCon because they didn't have enough money for the hotel or food, but they still drove to the fucking convention. And it wasn't like Houston. It was in This is in Galveston, right? This isn't like Houston or anywhere in the surrounding area, right? No. They were like coming from Dallas
to the beach.
To the fucking beach. And that's like a 5-hour drive. Like a 4.5 hour drive. 4.5 hour, maybe 5 hours, depending on how you drive. There are people that go to these conventions. They were talking about OniCon.
OniCon, yes.
Mm-hmm. And this kind of goes with WeebCon as far as like the cost of food goes. People need to, you should have enough money for food, a place to, as they said at my old job, shit, shower, and shave. I mean, if you're
This
gonna
is,
sleep in your
I
car,
mean, in general, that's just financial, just responsibilities.
mhm.
I feel like that should be, amongst adults for sure. If you're going to a convention being broke, it's not the best way to go. You're not
And
gonna
also
really enjoy it.
that's also not to like make fun of anybody who does, who can't afford it. That's not what we're trying to make the point
Yeah,
to, because I know some people, are gonna take it like, oh well, must be nice to have money. Well, well,
Like, bitch, I'm broke.
I'm broke. What do you
I can
expect?
understand that, but if you expect to do many things in a certain area, you know, your experience is enhanced with the amount
Right,
of
with
money you have.
the amount of money you have, yeah, and that you can afford to
And
invest slash pay for
but there should
experiences.
be a equilibrium to where you don't have to spend as much money to have fun. you
Right.
know, Panels, uh, meeting voice actors. You don't even have to sign. You can just go up and talk to them.
Yeah.
Exhibiting, going to the exhibitor hall, artist alley, just stuff like that. Cosplaying, stuff like that doesn't cost as much. But if
Mhm.
you do want to have a full on experience, I mean, cosplay can cost money, but if you want a full experience, you're gonna have to bring some money.
Hmm.
So, is this a joke? I don't want to read it.
No,
Okay,
I read. Yeah, I read it too. I didn't know if we should read it or not.
no, I'm gonna read it. My wife went into labor in the elevator, and the volunteers helped deliver it. That they also, I think, last year the issues has the convention improved from last year. Some people would say no. Some people would say yes. Um, Last year you had Whole Wheat Pete causing issues.
Throughout multiple cons, and it was a nuisance, destroying
I've
property,
I've
uh,
heard about that.
harassing
Hmm.
harassing minors, trying to get them into his TikTok videos and stuff.
Well, what was the last convention? It was the horror convention in Houston where uh,
Sumicon,
it was TsumiCon where he dressed up as Justin Bieber and his friend
P Diddy.
P Diddy,
Yeah.
P
D
Diddy,
Pity, yeah, D Pity cosplayed as P Diddy.
and like they had like baby oil, and like they even made a TikTok video where he was like spraying him in the bathtub and shit like that. And
Hmm.
people were pissed at him. People were upset, and he apparently, I and there was kind of, I'd say, no, he did tackle somebody at last year's WeebCon.
Yep.
Okay, I'm just trying to remember
I've heard
who
about
told me that.
those things. Some of them weren't true. The people he did tackle, they were like, "Hey, I'm gonna tackle you. Is that okay?"
No,
I've
basically, he
I've met
gave
him.
basically like, gave him consent, basically.
Yeah, yeah. I've met him, and I didn't know who he was until WeebCon last year. Um, he was nice, but on camera, that's his character. That's his character to act a fool.
I think
Yeah,
I
but
think the
but
problem
So
was is there was a lot of people from
I've heard
like
people,
previous
yes.
years.
yeah, but
And you
also
could tell
too,
by watching his videos that some of these people were uncomfortable and it was unplanned. Just going up to
Right.
them and saying some weird. I
y-
understand that, that pisses people off, but that's like his thing is to be to joke around
yeah,
on TikTok.
but there was that thing last year where I think it was was the when the fountains was closed because of it.
Yeah, and he
Mhm.
had
Yeah, he
one of
dipped his
his.
head in the water. I don't think it
Hmm.
was harmful to anyone around him. But I know that the staff that worked there probably didn't appreciate that. I just don't think it was that big of a deal for people to be like,
Right. No,
"What?"
it was not like just the Whole Wheat Pete though. That was an issue that happened last year. So him not being there, maybe the con banned him. Maybe he just decided to not come out. I think that's a vast improvement. I know the convention itself has no control over that. He's starting to be kicked out of several conventions, and there have been testimonies from people who say that he tackled them without consent. So it's like that's a step in the right direction compared to like last year's issues. I feel like the there are people that like there's somebody here like that says that this is a common sense to me. This is not my opinion, and Gamer can confirm this was sent to me. WeebCon was a hot mess, not as messy as Lighthouse, because there's nothing as messy as Lighthouse Matsuri, but vendors in a garage is whack as fuck. But
I never went to Lighthouse. I heard about it, but I've never been there. I think that was like a hotel.
okay, so right, I never got confirmation about it, but he is banned from WeebCon and several conventions. I know there are. Last time I asked my source, there were like 7 conventions that have banned whole week from their shows, including uh, what was it? Did TsumiCon ban him? I don't remember.
I know that he snuck, like, once he got banned, he snuck into those same
Oh, they
conventions
did
with
ban
different
him. That's
aliens.
right. He snuck back in. That's the one where he snuck back in.
Yeah.
There were 0 vendors in the garage except for the 18 plus after hours market for the night market. Okay, that's interesting. He sometimes shows up at conventions he's banned from and goes in disguise. Yeah, that does
Yeah,
happen.
a lot of people do tend to do that.
It's hard to ban someone for a convention, you know,
Mhm.
Yeah,
it's just
Unless they got like their full name and all that stuff too.
Because then they can just
even
cover
even
themselves up completely.
even still, you know, you can just cosplay or you can just be like, yeah, I'm not that person, you know. Not everyone's gonna go through every single person and be like, are you the one that was banned?
Yeah.
That's why I
so
feel
it
like it's
looks
difficult to
like
ban someone.
the vendors in the garage was an 18 plus market that lasted about 3 hours. Uh, was there, okay? Let's ask. What did the convention have? We've been talking about like the issues people had, but was there a dance? Was there anything like that? Any
Any
What
adult
were
band
the
There
hell was
travel?
was a
going on?
there was like a I guess like a rave uh near like the shopping center or the eating center. It was pretty fun. I didn't go. I was tired. People said that was really good. That was there. There was cosplay meetups across at these restaurants slash bars.
Mhm.
There's food trucks. You know, there's places to walk around. There was a area where there's like a how do I say it? As y'all are from Houston, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait. Hold on. Give me a second. Whose audio is echoing?
Is that me?
Mm,
Yeah, it's feeding through him with his phone.
Okay, let me turn down this game. All right, go ahead and test it now.
Hello? Hello?
All right, you should be good.
yeah, it should be okay.
Okay.
Right.
I mean, I can
There's
still
like
hear it in the
an
background a little bit, but like, I don't think there's anything we can do
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
let me try to fix
So
that.
yeah. So uh, Epic Gamer, who is the attendee on the show, who's our guest, who went to the convention, is on their phone and they're using AirPods.
AirPods. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my bad.
And then so
Very good.
yeah, you're good. You're good. So the convention. So in the comments, it says Underground had an after hours on Saturday at the Toyota Music Plaza. So basically, if you're wondering what that is, that's a separate building that's within the area of Irving Convention Center. So basically, what's the best way to describe it? It's like their House of Blues, I think. I don't
Oh
know.
yeah,
Best way to describe it. There was a dance on Saturday.
The rate
yeah,
dance.
The cut. That's
yeah.
pretty funny.
Unfortunately, like this is you can ask a lot of conventions, um, like a lot of hotels, and this is something that there was. It's a lot less strict now, but you go back like uh, mid 2010s. A lot of hotels or a lot of venues didn't like the word rave because
Mhm.
it was a liability issue because raves insinuated like drugs and all
And
that.
just messes and stuff.
Yeah, and
Yeah, they had voice actors play, someone was mentioned at the bottom, play at the music hall, which was pretty cool.
2
Um,
hour plus waiting in line if you're a
there's
panelist. Oh yeah, it was his. We turned down his gain. Because we have noise. We can adjust our stuff, but I had to adjust this for him. Panels who had bags still went through bag check. You were, but it stopped. Okay, thank you. Okay, that was from earlier. I saw Griffin Burns band play. I mean, the lines. I'm not. So I didn't know the line situation because all I saw was it was Line Con. It was a lines for everything. Lines, 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 and lines. Kind of like that skit on like that one little scene in Fairy Odd Parents where they go to Escalator Land.
When do we get to the line? This is the
The
ride.
line.
Oh wait, they had a what was it, President Bush? Be like, when do we get to the ride? This is the ride. And it's like, Mr. President, you almost caused a nuclear war. What are you gonna do now? I'm going to Escalator Land.
Right. So I think it's a Texas law thing. It's definitely, I think so. I think you're correct. I know it's definitely an insurance thing because all dances and raves are insured, and so a lot of insurances will not, cover a dance
Those
that's
events.
called a rave. Yeah.
Yep.
I think there are additional requirements to host raves with just a dance. It's also like it's like who's willing to cover, right? Because you got to have insurance for any kind of event.
Yep.
And there are some insurance that would be considered a transport birth. Make sure you get 4 proofs of birth and contact the local register to get your birth certificate. Are birth certificates just receipts for babies? That's the question I'm going to ask you today. Have you all seen a successful show that didn't have lines? Because I haven't. I want to say, like, small conventions don't really. No, even for like, I guess there's lines for like autographs and. I mean, do you think, Gamer, maybe it's a good thing that there were long ass lines because it means that there are more people attending? Maybe the show's successful.
Yeah, I mean, lines show that people, most of these lines are for people that really want to attend the event or, you know, see the voice actor. It's a good thing. Lines just show that people want to be there,
And in your
Right.
opinion, how did you feel about being in line too? Because I know like some people are iffy, like I don't want to wait too long to get in the building and whatnot. And sometimes the conventions also have like a VIP pass, like comic, to where you can go in early on before general admission. How did you feel about just being in line?
I'm not gonna lie. When I went near like the
Hmm.
afternoon, so there really wasn't lines for me, dude.
Right.
I didn't have problems, but for people that went there early, yeah, they had problems.
Okay, so there's a lot of comments. So, uh,
But yeah, I went to WeebCon last time and they had crazy lines,
Mm-hmm.
so
mm-hmm.
I can understand that.
WeebCon last year, a lot of things happened that, and that's how we kind of met some of the backstage people
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah.
something happened. We're not gonna like get into the details of it, but something had happened, and like we talked to some of the staff. We talked to one of the staff members, and I got into a fight with someone because like, well, I'm friends with most of the staff, and there was another show. Like some of the shows, some of the cons have owners and they have staff, people that run the show. You can be the con chair and not be the con owner. I don't like it's crazy, right? But not every con chair owns their show.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that is the case for Ushicon, and I think WeebCon is the same. And like the person who I spoke to was like they work directly with the owner and they work with the staff. They're like, hey, I answer to the owner, and they're having like a meeting about this. And when I told someone else about it, they're like, no, that's bullshit. I didn't hear anything about that. You're fucking lying. And I actually had like proof of it and everything, but it's whatever. I didn't want to argue with them.
Yeah.
But like I feel like there are people that work the show, right? Every con has people that work the show that care, right? Even Anime Matsuri, they care. Denise gives a shit. John does. WeebCon, there are staff that care. There are staff that don't give a fuck. It's like, whatever. I'm just here. Let's get this shit over with.
Yeah.
there are cons that it's not exclusive to one convention, and not everything's going to run smoothly, especially for a show like, you never know what your final attendance number is going to be until everything just finally hits the fan all at once. And I feel like, is there a way, could things have been run better? Maybe. I wasn't there, just based off of everyone's opinion. It was run pretty smoothly. It ran pretty well. I mean, it was okay. It is what it is. Or, it was horseshit, right? And so I saw the staff meeting panelists once they spoke up. Have you all seen this? So I guess everyone had a different experience. I guess some people just, I don't want to say like, suffering's, I know suffering is very professional. I'm going to see, I work with them. We've hung out. We share insights. He's run my panels. I don't run his because his are like so elaborate and like they require like a lot of information. Mine are more like comedy, entertainment based. So, but I'll help him out. Like, I've let him borrow my equipment if he leads anything. Yeah, so ACON back in 2015, the lines were fucking long. ACON has always had the longest fucking lines on a Thursday. Like, that was half a day waiting in line. If you can wait in line to get your fucking driver's license, I think you'll survive
Yeah.
a line at WEEBCON.
I think also it kind of reminds me of ACON in 2018. I think the second year they were at the Fort Worth Convention Center, that was definitely a line con for me. Like almost the entire day was spent at line. But WeebCon last year, yeah, that was like you could spend like most of the day. By the time the dealers were about to shut down, you could see some people still in line.
So based off of what you saw, do you feel like the attendance number of tens of thousands of people at the convention is accurate?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yep. Okay. I mean, did you overall? Okay, so let's get and I want to get this from everybody. What are the things about the convention you liked, and what are some things that you feel like they can improve?
I would say one thing that I did like that was stood out differently from different conventions is they had a scavenger hunt. I don't know if you ever heard about that, but there was a scavenger hunt. If you find these certain QR codes or did these certain quests, you would get points. These points lead up to rewards given by the convention. And if you hit the last reward, you get a free 3-day badge for the next convention, which was pretty cool. And I did that. So I got me a free badge for next year.
Can I just say that that scavenger hunt you just described, they do that at Allcon as well. They have like these cutouts with QR codes. You have to find them and scan them for points, and like yeah, that's actually pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I've never been over there, but yeah,
Allcon is
that's
more
something
of
I've never
a
experienced.
Allcon is more. It says all like everything, but it's more of a science fiction convention.
Science fiction.
Mm-hmm. Like Star Trek, Star Wars, like those big. Like when I say science fiction, people think like
the big niche,
like the big like
fantasy.
It's a lot of Star Trek. It's a lot of Star Trek.
Wow.
And it's in Dallas actually. It's a really fun show. I enjoyed it. Everything.
Oh, here we go. He almost died.
Weave Quest.
He's back.
I think they do something like that at PAX South. Every PAX convention they used to do like they would do scavenger hunts like that too.
I feel like that should be a thing in most cons.
I mean, Onicon used to do this Sasuke in the barrel thing, where the guy would carry the Sasuke. Like, I don't know if you remember from Naruto when they had Sasuke in the barrel. The guy would wear the barrel and walk around with you, and people would challenge you in rock paper scissors. And whoever won, the guy would follow the new winner. And whoever was like, if the guy was following you by the end of the weekend, you won the prize.
Oh damn!
So I was thinking about like pitching that to a convention for next year, maybe this year, just something like that, kind of bring it back.
Mhm.
And I know the closest thing something like that is I've been seeing this lately in some of these conventions is they do like these little stamp rallies, like,
Mm,
especially at the artist alley. Like, oh, if you see an artist and you see this, you get a stamp from them, and then if you
yeah,
spend this amount, you get like a exclusive like merch, something like that, which is really cool. I kind of like that idea too.
I know they did that in comic. A bunch of the vendors they have like their little like scavenger hunts and stuff, and like you spend a certain amount, you get a stamp. You find that specific vendor, you get a stamp, and then at the end they give you like a reward.
Mm-hmm.
So did you give your con of the con? I know my signal is cutting out. Like things they could improve.
The cons of a con.
Yeah, the con of the con.
Cons. Cons.
Yeah, cons.
Um, I'm not too sure because I mean I that was pretty good. I
Mhm.
haven't been to that many conventions, so I don't know what a con of a con can be.
I mean, it doesn't have to be like something really like negative. That was like, oh, like that was the big letdown. But like, what do
And
you feel like?
there was one thing I did not like, and it was the contest
Okay.
because it was from 5 to 7, and they spent 1 hour just waiting and just they had a lot of technical difficulties.
Okay,
And
you know,
then
and
when
go
they
ahead,
did the
sir.
judging, that took like 45 minutes to even judge, and I just walked out. I was just like, okay, well, this is taking too long.
Yeah,
You That's just one thing, but other things were pretty good.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be issue. Like we said, it doesn't have to be issues you had with the con. It just has to be, and this is for the comment section. It's just something that you feel like they can improve.
it doesn't necessarily have to be a very negative thing. Like, oh, like they should never do this again. But just something that you feel like maybe they can improve. Whether that be maybe less wait time on the line, maybe more affordable like food options, or more, or not just food option. You know,
More
less,
cowbell.
more cowbell.
Yeah. Food was slightly expensive, so I can agree. You should not spend a lot of money buying food. You should
So we
more,
have a few.
just
Uh,
spend more of your money on entertainment than feeding yourself. I feel like that's important.
but show up for a panel 3 hours before it starts to be on time is a take, I guess. Communication definitely could have been better. So, but okay, I think it's hard to nail down what issues were with the con and what issues with the venue.
More cowbell.
More
More
cowbell.
cowbell, definitely more cowbell.
Definitely need more cowbell. Uh,
Yeah, where's
yeah,
Will
two
Ferrell
plus.
when we need him?
Yeah, 2+ hours for a bunch of people isn't that bad, to be honest. It was in their later. I remember waiting to get into Dallas Comic Con at ICC in like 2016, and waiting for 2+ hours to get in. They snake the line all the way to the garage. Yeah, that does make sense. Kind of missed the metal ones from last year though. Oh, DLC badges? What the hell's a DLC badge?
They're kind of like VIPs and all that, like kind of super pat, basically like tiers. I think
Oh, okay.
that's what I think. I don't really know specifically what they are,
I
but
thought it was like those ribbons that you put on the badges. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah, no, you sometimes you get them from like random con goers or maybe artists. They'll give you some,
I
or
was
you
gonna
can buy
say,
some.
yeah, I thought they would be like kind of like souped up badges that like have like more like a sticker kind of like reflective, like kind of like a lot more
Holograms and
nice
all that
clean.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Water fountains of Hawaiian punch, please. Now you got to do Kool-Aid, bro. Gotta do
And
Kool-Aid.
Now you got to give us some Minute Maid.
have
Uh,
some Capri
if the
Suns.
hotel is
Capri Sun.
selling $20 personal pizza, that was Comic Palooza. The con can't do much about that. It can be nice to deliver. Okay, you were just saying that the con has no control with it. Yeah, that was Comic Palooza, and that's not 100% true. Comic Palooza, they're fucking greedy, and they're owned by the city of Houston, and they're pretty fucking greedy.
Yeah.
And I'm probably
I'm gonna
in
head
trouble for
out.
saying that.
I'll catch
No,
y'all
thank you,
later.
thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Appreciate having me
Oh,
on
before
here.
you go though, I did have one final question for you.
Yeah,
On a
yeah.
scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate the convention?
The convention, An 8.1 out of 10.
So we're gonna do 8 because we do.
Yeah, let's
And
settle for
like
8.
8 point.
Okay,
So
yeah.
we do.
That's good.
Unless you want to
Just
increase
had
it to
to add that part.
8.5.
Just,
Yeah.
but yeah, 8 out of 10. It was good. I just prefer the resort because you know I I I just like staying where the convention's at.
Oh,
No, I got you. I got you. Yeah. No. So 8 out of 10.
Yeah, 8 out of 10. It was
Oops,
good.
something
I,
wrong
th-
with the
Hold on.
chat.
I think someone busted the chat because they put a link in there.
No, I took it
Okay.
out. I banned
Oh,
them.
But yeah, thank y'all for having me.
I banned it. So okay, let's get everyone else's. What do you guys think on a scale of 1 to 10? If I can get like at least 3 more scores, I can get an average. What do you
The
guys
uh,
think?
cons.
Did I say out
I,
of 10? I'm sorry. Scores 1 out of 10, 1 out of 10. Uh, 1 being that he thought the convention was this on the same level as DashCon / Lighthouse Matsuri, or 10, it was the greatest thing since sliced bread.
can't really. Yeah, we can't really read the chat though.
Chat. We have to reload the
Oh,
chat at the moment. Yeah, I think it crashed it completely.
wait. No, I can still see it.
Oh, okay. I guess we
Uh,
can't see it. It's fine.
We can't unless we refresh.
I think we have to refresh.
Okay, no. I think, yeah,
Okay.
I have to refresh. Oh, fuck, I'm by myself. Yeah, I'll count. Everyone's counts.
We got so far. We got a 4 out of 10, a 5 out of 10, 7.5, 8.5. We got a lot of mixed bag here.
Yeah, it's definitely a mixed bag. I think, like I said, everyone had a different experience, which is fine. Like,
That's about standard with people's different experiences. So
thank you for watching us. Before you leave, make sure you can give it a thumbs up, thumbs down. So it looks like this is the 8.5 race there. And let me check my private messages.
nine out of 10.
Let's see, I got a 8.5. I got a. Somebody gave it
9
a
out
10.
of 10.
No, I'm looking at my
Oh,
private
okay.
messages.
Yeah, see, solid 8. Think it's an 8, 9, 7.5. Ooh, a lot of a really mixed con. I can say that.
I feel like
Uh,
also depending on what days they went to,
Mhm.
and then
Was it a 3-day
Yeah, it's 3-day.
convention?
yeah,
So if you went Friday, your experience probably wasn't as good as like the Saturday
Or
experience.
Sunday.
Friday always has like a
and
lot of.
Sunday too.
Well, Sunday's like a let's get the fuck out of here day. Let's everyone's hungover. We gotta get out of the room. So I would like to go. It just depends.
Scheduling and stuff.
No, I know you're probably joking. I know you're joking, but I would actually like to go to WeebCon. I would like to host our panels there. I actually wanted to help the convention. We don't just do panels. We will like help out if y'all like need us to like check badges or whatever. We'll even host other people's panels. It's just that we didn't go this year because we have WrestleMania, and next year WrestleMania is going to be in
Yeah,
New
and then we
Orleans.
also have other cons, and obviously life happening and stuff too.
Plus the Renaissance, because I do the Mr. Uppies at the Renaissance. That's my brand there, and so like that kind of blew up and it's gotten popular. And there's a lot of new things that we're doing. So we do like terrible fan fiction. We do. I would like to host karaoke if they don't have karaoke. I would like to host it for them. We do karaoke. We call it Super Adult Karaoke. We hosted it at Kawakan and Ushicon. Um, we don't host it at all the conventions because we know the other karaoke hosts, and we we have friendships and shit like that. So we don't like shit up. We don't like mess with each other. So I don't try to host it at cons that they do. Anime other cons, LOL. I like that. We watch WrestleMania in my suite. That's fucking badass. So the thing is, we want to go next year, and I was looking up how much it
Dude,
costs
it's
to go to
gonna cost an
WrestleMania this year
arm
in
and a
Vegas.
leg over, and
So I'm gonna at least get like a decent seat. I'm not sitting with the
you're not
pigeons.
sitting all the way in the nosebleeds.
Fuck that. I'm not sitting where a
God,
bird can land on my shoulder.
I want to go.
Uh, we're thinking maybe it's gonna cost for both nights maybe around $5,000.
Yeah, that's if they don't jack up the prices too.
Frontier. When is Frontier?
In December.
That's usually our off season. We'll see. Because the thing is, we also do the Texas Renaissance Festival. It is the biggest Renaissance festival, I think, in this country. If they did a documentary about it on Max.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you should be a rep for Weave. Oh, I thought that was direct to me. I'm like, hey. I was like,
anime other cons, LOL. Rep for G5E at Weeb. Yeah, see, he repped that. It's like because people here we do rep G5E at different conventions, even though not all of us are at the convention. I guess great example is that I represent G5E at Sonic Expo, and that's in November.
Mhm.
And I get a lot of people, asking about us. We get a lot of shout outs and all that stuff. So that's really cool.
We need to make a shirt so I
we
can wear it.
we have we have people that rep Geeks 5 Ever that are silent reps. Like they don't advertise us, they don't promote us or anything. They just go and check out the con and get their own personal experience, and then they tell us how they themselves experience the convention. Mm-hmm. So remember, when it comes to reviews, this is all reviews. Every review is based off of perspective, right?
Mm-hmm.
It just depends on how much you enjoyed it. There are people that liked the live action Lion King movie. I thought it was okay. I didn't really enjoy it that much.
Which one? The what?
The live action Lion King.
The live action Lion King. I didn't hate it, but I didn't enjoy it as much as I enjoyed the anime.
Yeah,
the cartoon.
It's that's kind of a lot of people nowadays. When they see the live action, it's like, oh, it's not as good as the anime one. I'm like, yeah, I mean, obviously.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say Dragon Con has a 5-hour wait to get into anything, just to shit in the toilet.
That is a convention we'd like to go. Dragon Con is
unfortunately,
I've seen all the cosplays, I've seen all that stuff, man. It just looks like a party con.
The Texas Renaissance Festival, just all Renaissance Festival fairs in Texas are great. We were at Sherwood. I went 3 weekends. They planted a tree in the entrance for Sherwood for one of our friends, or one of the representatives of Geeks 5 Ever, Lawrence Rummy McGee. And they did plant a tree for him. There was a Viking funeral for him. It was amazing. I did go as Mr. Uppies. This is my my logo for Ren Fair.
That's awesome.
So we really don't do Geeks 5 Ever for Ren Fairs. It's a different crowd. So
you know what? Just wear a raccoon tail while you do the Uppies thing. just do the Tanuki thing where you wear raccoon ears and just wear a tail.
Grab a speaker and just start spamming the fucking Mario.
We will do a whole episode for the Minecraft movie, just so everybody knows.
Flint and steel.
Chicken Chucky.
Chicken Chucky.
You're a dual wielding brand risk and client embarrassment. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we actually do have a solid relationship with a lot of cons because we whenever we host panels or we come up with something to do for the con, we'll do it no matter what it is. And do I like to tell them firsthand, hey, this is what went wrong, we worked it out. But we are, for those of you that go to the Renaissance festivals, we are friends with a bunch of the clans like Castaways and Nottingham, not the one at Sherwood, but the one at TRF. Not gonna make Goku furry new. We would like to work with WEEBCON next year. We just, like I said, we couldn't do it this year because there's just too much going on. We had already planned Sherwood. It's kind of hard to plan around all these events.
I know you said comic was a maybe for y'all, right? Because
Comic Palooza, because we submitted panels, but I did miss the deadline for the podcast.
I should have sent you the link because I kind of forgot. I was like, I told you, and then like you were like, I got it, and then like I feel like you kind of forgot because you were busy, which is, to be fair.
Yeah, and plus, like, there's been like a lot of personal family issues going on right now, and
yeah,
it's just been really rough. That WWE Superstar would want to see y'all turn furry heel. You know what's funny is one of our followers, 17, is actually training under a wrestler name who goes by Miranda. She fought Rhea Ripley in the Mae Young Classic.
Ooh, that's awesome.
So she was in Vegas this past weekend doing a meet and greet at WrestleCon. That's another one that we would like to go to eventually.
Oh yeah, I really want to go to WrestleCon.
Yeah.
Plus,
it's always during like this. It's always at the host city where WrestleMania takes place. So they do it. They're doing it at New Orleans next year.
So we will start an ambassador program next year in 2026 to where you can like talk to us and apply, and like if it's a convention we're not going to, you could go to the convention and we'll pay for your badge, and you just got to come on the show and review it. The reason, like, that's the thing, like, we ask for people to come onto the show because we can't go to every show, right?
Yep.
Like, everything that I like talked about and read, these were things that were sent to me. So if you ever have like go to a show and you feel like people are just hating on it to hate, which could pretty much be the case, right? We just covered Anime Houston a couple weeks ago with everything that went on with them, and so yeah, WrestleCon is a nightmare. I think you have to camp out.
Yeah, it's intense.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not just that, and I was seeing video of not just WrestleCon, but also I saw a video of the WWE's World thing, basically.
Oh yeah, WWE
World. Their line is insane too.
They did have a 6-hour.
There was a video, like, what was it? A day before the superstore was supposed to open.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and people were already there, like camping out in the middle of the night.
So, okay, so I was just waiting on it to deliver it. Let me go ahead and do my thing real quick. So, based off of this is the average, right? What's it, 2025? All right. WEEBCON 2025 officially gets an 8 out of 10.
Wow. That's an improvement, a massive improvement from last year's.
That is a big improvement from last year, WEEBCON 2025.
Because last year they got
DQ'd. Okay, yeah.
So as of right, yep, they're in our top 10 at least right now. They might stay there for a while because Comic Palooza's never really gotten past the 7.
So I will let y'all guys know in case y'all don't eventually decide whether or not to go. I will be going. So if anybody's going, I'm down to meet up. So I'll be going for the whole entire 3 days. I've been going since early 2022, I think. So not that long going to conventions. So excited to go this year again. So.
I mean, I'll try. I really don't want to spend $100.
Yeah, to be fair.
No, I'm sorry. $130.
Yeah, to be fair. I mean, I got my tickets early right now. I think this week or either tonight or this weekend. They're gonna bump up the prices. So if you are going to go to Comic Palooza, I know it's expensive because I hear it from multiple friends and mutuals that I ask every year. They say like it's way too expensive, so I understand that. So, but I would recommend whenever they announce, if you don't follow them on Instagram, go follow them on Instagram and all socials. because when they do release the tickets, is worth at least getting them early and then upgrading later on. But
yeah, but then also just keep this in mind. Not just Compalooza coming up. Also, there's DreamCon that's debuting here in Houston, so that's another thing too.
and also Anime Tyler is also
This weekend. Yep.
this weekend.
Collect the con as well. So many conventions are starting up.
Yep.
Okay, dude, I did something funny. So give it like 10 minutes after the show ends and then refresh the page and look at the new name I put. I did it because you asked so nicely. Well, like we said, it was clickbait.
Yeah.
That's all it is. I usually, because we didn't we heard so much bad shit. Like, oh fuck, is it like last year?
Yeah, that's what, because we hear all these stories and we're like, okay, what is that really what's going on, or is just like, is there more to it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and we were more worried about WrestleMania, like, John Cena fucking losing, so I didn't have to hear Deacon rap.
Oh no, we're gonna
all
be
day.
here Deacon all day.
Yeah, all day. He's like, John Cena. Da, da, da. So we will be at Tyler, Texas. Anyway, Tyler, Texas, hit us up. We would definitely like for y'all to be on the show if y'all
Please
are there.
go support Tyler, Texas,
Just to talk about the
because they
convention.
are really trying to get a lot more attention on them.
Right. It won't let me save the new title until after the show ends because it's live. But it says, but I don't want to give it away.
Just don't.
But it's like, you got to see the new name. You got to see it. I think, and I agree. I think so. We were talking about it last night where we were watching WrestleMania because, like, hey, like, I keep hearing things and like this, and I really don't have the time to like go through all the screenshots, because people were sending screenshots, and a lot of it is just the idol group, complaining, and I don't know who they are. And I'm not. I know people are gonna get mad, but I'm not an idol fan. I don't go to any of the shows or panels or anything like that. We only promote Mochi because she's a friend of ours. And I mean, I've tried to interview them, but they like, it's hard to get them to do an interview to talk about their shows. But I mean, overall, I feel like WEEBCON, the biggest complaints, if anybody had any issues, were with the venue itself, rather than the way the convention was run. And you can't blame the convention for something that's out of their control.
I feel like vendors have been getting, from what I've been seeing from people that I've been following on TikTok, they've been getting hit really hard this year. Really, really hard. Especially with placements and stuff.
Right. So WEEBCON so we do an award at the end of the year. San Japan won it last year. We still have to give them their prize. ColossalCon won it the year before, and Etchy
Expo or Fiesta
won it. It was Fiesta hasn't won an award this year. It was Etchy Expo. They won Convention of the Year. Then it was Colossal. Then last year was San Japan. This year we'll see. Like, the score, it usually doesn't go to the convention with the highest score. It goes to the convention that overall does, they did a good job, or that they try to improve what they did, or, try to make people happy, or, there's a lot of PR as well, because there's some conventions that PR related, they'll just kind of like kick everybody to the curb. But yeah, I mean, we'll see everybody this weekend at Anime Tyler, Texas. If you're going to be there, please hit us up. We'll be doing the podcast, and I definitely I'm the only one going. Diamond and Sonic aren't going. They're going to go to Collecticon.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, he's going to go to Collecticon. I work a lot, so I can't.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
So
we'll see. Maybe we'll do a quick review on it.
I would love to go.
Well,
but
so we usually do like a trophy or a custom made like championship belt to get to the convention, as the convention of the year. So I still have to give San Japan theirs, even though I saw them at Comic-Con. So yeah, I mean, we will be there. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We'll be back on Wednesday. Me and Diamond to talk about Anime Tyler, Texas. We're gonna be talking about Anime Tyler, Texas,
Heck
and
yeah!
we're gonna be talking about the fucking Minecraft
Oh,
movie.
God damn it!
Sorry, man. What?
And next week we're gonna be reviewing Anime. So if anybody goes to Anime Tyler, Texas, and would like to come onto the show and give
show
their
some love.
feedback to the convention, yeah, because they're watching right now. Like, look, that's them. How could you? Yeah, they're talking about y'all.
Listen, man, you're gonna have to try to gaslight my boss into giving me the weekend off. So
yeah, you're gonna have to.
good luck.
Yeah,
Oh, no,
you're
no.
gonna have to
No, I
try
won't.
to convince my boss from retail to tell me that, hey, you should totally give a ball.
No, you know what, and that's fair. That's fair on that comment. I listened to everybody's bitching before I because nobody would fucking talk to me and tell me what the fuck, and then some of the people that complain find out they didn't even go to the fucking con. Like, how are you gonna come on my fucking show? I mean, not come on the show. Sorry. How are you gonna message me? Hey, are you doing the show? Oh, they want your phone numbers. I'll give you their addresses. How are you gonna message me? Like, hey, bitch, give the convention a bad review. Did you go? No. Get the fuck out of here. And that's the reason why, Mud and Deacon, they wanted to come on the show, but Deacon, I don't know, has other priorities right now.
Bell.
And Mud, you didn't like we try to keep the show regulated to like the guests. Like, these two are my co-hosts. One is my co-host for Mondays, one is my co-host for Wednesdays. And I just want to keep the show mostly about anime, WeebCon, right? I didn't want to really talk the whole night about WrestleMania. Yeah. We usually we talk about that for the first 10 to 15 minutes to kind of before we get into that's our side, and then we get to the steak, the meat,
the entree,
the pre-show, before the show.
You're allowed to cuss. You can come on here and cuss all you want. Probably not at Anime Tyler though, because it's a family-friendly show. But we do have this disclaimer.
I need to get that as a rug.
We also have two disclaimers.
Uppies.
No, we only have the one disclaimer, but we have memes that we share. But yeah, I mean, Anime Tyler, I think I'm already calling it right now. I think it's going to be like a 9, a 10. It's going to be a 12 out of 10. It's not just cons. It's rough, because we did Sherwood, we did WrestleMania, and we're going to review. So it's Collecticon and Anime Tyler. Is there another convention we're missing next week?
No, actually.
No, I don't think.
I don't think we're getting any cons until probably Retropalooza and then DreamCon.
I mean, I'm pretty sure there's probably cons outside of Texas, but
this summer we have so many shows back to back. I'm fuck.
Yeah, we're getting a lot.
It's gonna be slammed.
Yeah, because not just because there's also especially in July, before Delta, the week before is I think Matsuri, and then that's also the same week as that Animeverse is doing their summer thing, and then I guess for wrestling fans, All In is happening up in Dallas.
Yeah, so and then I know that WWE is going to try to combat All In with a show. I don't know if it's
Saturday night's main event. Don't know where though. We don't know where.
I thought they said it was going to be in Houston. I could have sworn they said it was either going to be in Houston or.
Yeah, they haven't said anything about it so far. I know that. Guess we'll see, because Houston, we're getting a Raw after Delta.
Oh God.
Yeah.
So there's other conventions, other wrestling shows that we're trying to do. We're going to start doing indie wrestling shows.
Texas All-Star Wrestling.
We tried to go to speaking of Texas, the Texas Furry Con that just happened recently.
Furry Fiesta.
Yeah. I tried to go to that, but it was $100 just for you had to register, and they ask you all these fucking questions what is your character? What are your kinks? I'm what the fuck?
Your persona?
I don't think they asked that.
What are you identifying?
Yeah, kind of like that. And they're okay, it's $100, and then the hotel was expensive as fuck. I was looking at like 400 to 500.
Jesse, just get yourself a Five Nights at Freddy's suit. You'll be fine. You'll fit right in. No, fuck that.
Look, my cosplay days are coming to an end. I'm pretty much
I'm
wrapping
retiring.
Yeah, I am retiring. It's a lot. It's hard to run panels, try to
I
cosplay, and
feel
then
you.
like do press, and then conventions, and then you got to make sure you
Yeah.
eat. Make sure you drink some water.
Hydrate or
hydrate. Drink water. Not light beer is
Or
not
energy
water,
drinks.
despite the fact that yes. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We will hopefully y'all can join us on Wednesday. If anybody would like to be on the show this coming weekend, we'll be there Saturday morning. We'll do the show. Oh, what?
What?
Oh, breaking news.
Anime North Texas coming back this year.
I fucking love that con. That was the con. I don't know if you remember, Keyblade, but that was I was talking to you. I'm like, hey, I got to go to Anime North, and then like Sunday we got to haul ass because Survivor Series was the same weekend.
Oh.
Because we attended Survivor Series. Because you went to NXT.
Yeah, I went to War Games.
But we showed up for Survivor Series, and then we showed up for Raw, and then we showed up for SmackDown because it was still recorded on Tuesdays.
I still remember when I went to Royal Rumble for the first time before COVID hit. That's when Edge returned.
Yeah, 2020.
Unfortunately, we couldn't go to Anime North Texas anymore because the pandemic, and then it kind of just went away. But all right, guys, we will definitely be at Anime North Texas. We are going to go, and if anybody would ever like to be on the show to review conventions, like I said, if we don't go to them, I'm gonna put it like this: there hasn't been a convention that has gotten a bad review. Maybe the clickbait title. Well, no, Lighthouse Monster got disqualified.
The dumpster fire.
It was a dumpster fire. It really was. But thanks for watching. We will see everybody soon. Wednesday or whenever y'all decide to come back and join us. If you're going to be at Anime Tyler, Texas, like I said, Saturday, hit me up. I'll probably be Macho Man, or I'll have my uppy sign. All right, guys. Peace out.
Bye.
Good
All
night.
right. We'll catch you guys next time.
See you on Wednesday.